live from Austin, Texas, and powered by some really, really good coffee. It's Retro Pals with Danny and Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Danny. I actually had some coffee before the stream, but I don't think it was the kind of coffee we're going to be talking about today.
I disagree. This coffee you make, for those who don't know, Alex is my trusted co-worker here at Retro Pals HQ.
Mm-hmm.
Every day he is in charge of making the coffee, and just something about today's pot just really... It feels like I feel a kind of energy, you know? I'm looking at the chat and the words are like coming off the screen. It's like words actually mean something now, you know? Anyway, hi everybody. It's
Hi.
Retro Pals, and we're gonna stream some magazine tonight. It's been a good long time since we've streamed an old video game magazine. Now it's time to do it again with possibly the single best issue we could possibly give our analysis to. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, folks, if you haven't heard the story about this one, stick around. It's
God,
really, really worth it.
This is a hell of a story. I've waited long for this stream, and hopefully the wait will be worth it.
Thank you, Devil Ray, for the 64-month resub. Come and pet the cat, indeed. We will be petting that cat.
Thank you.
Meow wow. Thank you, Nelson JD, 20-month resub. I am ready for magazines made by gamers for gamers. Thank you. Thank you, Blab, 31-month resub. And Rio Dise with the 24 months. That is 2 years. Almost 2 whole years. That is 2 whole ass years. 2 whole asses just for you.
That is a whole lot of months. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mooware, for the 40-month resub. I'm a Livesoft game fan. Yeah.
We're all fans of different kinds of games, whether they die hard or live soft. That's what we're about.
Live soft or die hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm always saying.
That's what they always say.
I've been saying that since the 20th century. I tried to have that phrase trademarked, and they laughed at me. They laughed. Can you believe it?
How much of this coffee have you had, honey?
I drank the rest of the pot, so we should be good to go for the next couple hours. We're dancing around a joke here, but we're not going to tell you what the joke is until we're a couple minutes in. Then all will make sense. All will make sense.
Thank you, Blur Frugal. I don't know how to say that, but thank you, Blur, for the 2-month resub.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we took a poll to our patrons. We decided, you know what, this is going to be one of our infamous Super Readalong streams. Why don't you pick from these pair of infamous magazines and tell us which one we should read? The choices were EGM 1994 or Diehard GameFan 1993. I think people got word about this one. I think word reached the people that there was something interesting and unusual about this issue of Die Hard Game Fans, so somehow it took an early lead, and that lead did not fade away. Rio Dise,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you for gifting those subs.
Thank you. Welcome to Sub Club Moji Baka, Bill Bull, and Frappe Fiasco.
Welcome, everybody. Enjoy the emotes. So the losing issue was this one. This is December 1994. In my mind, this is the quintessential video game magazine. This was the size of a freaking phone book. You see down there, it says over 400 pages. They weren't lying.
They weren't. I remember that issue.
It was huge. It had that hardback binding. Well, not hardback, but like it had a straight spine, just like a book would have. And it was just page after page after page after page of advertisements mostly. But there was also some content about current video games, upcoming video games, imports, things like that. I think this would have been a good cross-section of the gaming scene of 1994 if we were to cover this one. But we didn't, so it fades away forever.
Real quick, thank you, Frappe Fiasco, for the donation, sir. I missed it. I reversed the eating shit. It is totally reversed for you. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But thank you so much.
I'm glad we could clear that up. Thank you. So, it's not 1994. The patrons decided we should cover December 1993. So let's have a look at a few of the representative magazines from the period. What were they covering? EGM, December 93, decided to cover Eternal Champions. See if you can figure out which video game genre was especially popular at this time, as you see these covers I'm about to show.
Okay, well, that's a fighting game.
Yeah, Eternal Champions, not a bad pick. It's got some Boris Vallejo cover art. It's got, Sega sure was hyping it at the time. They were all like, this is going to be better than Street Fighter 2. It's going to rule. It's got, like, stage fatalities and, like, every character has a million moves, and the game didn't turn out so great.
No, not at all.
Meanwhile, video games and computer entertainment went under an upheaval in 1993.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They stopped being video games and computer entertainment, and they became Video Games Magazine, the ultimate guide, they called it.
Which I read, and if you didn't know the difference, it's like night and day with video games and its previous iteration. Just absolutely different.
It really was.
I can't describe it other than like loud and shouty, but in magazine form.
So there was a battle between VGNC and EGM. EGM won. VGNC was for the older gamers, the people who'd been playing for decades. EGM was more about teens and young adults. And the publisher, which was the company that published Hustler magazine, decided to rebrand the entire thing to just be video games and target kids, you know, for the kids. Syncoplay, thank you for gifting the sub to Photoggle.
Thank you.
And you see here they picked, for their cover of December 1993, Clay Fighter. I guess you have to cover a fighting game. It's December 93. You got to put one of them on the cover.
Hey, Danny, kick some clay.
I will kick some clay. So that was it. EGM was the de facto standard. Video games was clearly trying to catch up after the rebranding. Meanwhile, good old GamePro, what did they have on their December 93 issue cover? Well, ironically, this might be the actual best game to be on any cover in December 93. Tournament Fighters for Super Nintendo is an excellent fighting game. Actually, really good. Way better than Eternal Champions. Kicks the shit out of Clay Fighter. And this also shows you GamePro's focus, that being little kids. This was always for like the under 10 crowd, maybe just preteen, that kind of thing. And they were betting big on a name that I guess sold a few magazines before, that being the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were kind of getting old in 1993, but I guess GamePro, they were like, the kids still want to see Ninja Turtles, put them on the cover. And in the end, they made the right choice.
Thanks for the bits, Cartman. Welcome, Peyton. Enjoy the show.
But those aren't the magazines we're going to cover today.
Oh, not tonight.
The magazine we're going to cover today is GameFan December 1993. And holy shit, this is an amazing thing. Let me reposition my windows so I can actually do this justice.
Man, thank you so much, Mooware, not Meware. Mooware giving out 3 subs. Welcome to the Subs Club. Skits Kid, Clip It 97, and Felton Preparatio.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Welcome aboard, everybody. Now, what did GameFan put on their December 93 cover? There was plenty of fighting games. People were making a shit ton of them to catch up on the popularity of Street Fighter 2.
Okay, so they put a fighting game on the cover, right?
Could have put an SNK game on there. They famously did cover many Neo Geo games when many magazines wouldn't. But the thing that GameFan chose to put on their December 93 issue cover was this.
That's Cybermorph.
That's a choice.
Those are the famous Cybermorph crystals. Yeah, that's Cybermorph.
That's a choice you can make, putting the Atari Jaguar and Cybermorph especially on the front cover, alongside their mascot Monitor.
Yeah, Monitor. Okay, if you don't know who he is an extremely buff man in a Speedo with a computer monitor as his head.
Mm-hmm. That's basically it.
They just... Of course I grew up to be a gay man. I love Diehard GameFan, and I was always like, somebody really likes a Speedo monitor, and that was me.
Is this what did it? Is this what pushed him over the edge? You were that kid.
I was.
I was pushing
a Speedo
the button
kid.
for the Speedo man. Yeah, he's a big muscular guy with a monitor on his head, wearing a Speedo. But somehow that's the least strange thing about this magazine. Now, we showed off a few of the other issues. I mentioned VGNC was mostly older guys, 30 and 40-year-olds playing video games, trying to be like, hey, kids, you should play Arrow the Acrobat, or don't, because we think it's a big pile of shit. They were actually pretty good in their reviews. They were pretty honest. They had a good eye for what makes a good video game. Spartanberry.
Thank you. 43-month resub.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays. As we look at this thing, I like that this is a vintage scan, so the cover is all kind of fucked up.
Oh, it looks awful. I love it. And
This
I mean
issue-
that with love. Thank you.
This issue we're looking at was scanned personally by Sketch the Cow, aka Jason Scott. So thank you for doing that all the way back then. So VGNC was the magazine for older gamers. GamePro was for the little kids and preteens. EGM had that slight edge to it, which was basically teenagers and young adults, and that fit into kind of a sweet spot for the video game magazine. What am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for here? Environment? The video game magazine atmosphere of 1993. So EGM was there in their niche. They were defining what video game magazines were. Diehard GameFan, meanwhile, they came from a mail order catalog thing. They actually started off as a mail order business selling import video games, and they would release these catalogs called Diehard GameFan. Pre-order your copy of fucking Wonder Dog for Mega CD or some shit. Then eventually, they became an actual publication. They took it to the actual retail stores. They started off in apparently liquor stores, which is pretty funny, and they expanded from there. This magazine is their 13th issue. They are straight off their first year. This is volume 2, issue 1, as you can see. So they'd been honing their craft. They'd been doing everything they could, and now this is the game fan they want you to see in December 1993.
Thank you, Syncoply, for the 300 bits. Hopefully that'll pay for some more clothing for Monitar here.
He doesn't need clothing. He's fine. Oh, why don't I put on some appropriate music? Because
heck yeah.
It's freaking Thanksgiving. Wait a minute. No, it's
not. It's the holidays. My birthday's coming up.
Yeah, we can't skip past your birthday.
Yeah, my birthday's next week.
How's this?
Yeah, my birthday's next week. Yeah, I say.
All right, the music you're hearing is by Shnaboobala, a great NES remix artist and pianist. He's really good at the piano. I wish I was that good. So curl up by the fire, brew yourself a pot of coffee. We got a story to tell you. Out of the cage for the first time, Atari's Jaguar, exclusive first reviews. I guess that would be their big selling point, because no other magazine had a Jaguar at the time. They were so focused on the holiday lineup that they had no time to pay respect to poor Atari. Diehard GameFan did, though, and it paid off with this. Crescent Galaxy. Oh my god. I can't wait for this. Meanwhile, they're covering Eternal Champions. Other magazines gave it the cover. We didn't think it was good enough, frankly. We have better standards here at Diehard GameFan.
Cybermorph is better? Okay, fine.
Toe Jam and Earl 2, Lost Vikings, Joe and Mac, Lunar.
I had this issue as a child, by the way.
It was a very good game.
Diehard GameFan was actually was my favorite magazine, and yes, it was probably for the Speedo guy, but also I liked that it would cover shit you wouldn't see anywhere else.
Yeah, they tended to cover the underground stuff, the stuff that hadn't been heavily marketed in other magazines. I guess that's a good approach. Get people to buy your magazine by showing them stuff they didn't know they wanted. And that's why Lester the Unlikely and Lawnmower Man are given top billing over Mega Man X. Fatal Fury 2 wouldn't have been a bad choice for your cover. People like that Terry Bogard these days. Andy Bogard, too. Ninja Warriors 2 for Super Famicom, along with the famous RPG Illusion of Gia. I don't think there's a single Diehard GameFan issue without a major misspelling on the cover. And that's because the way this magazine was, VG&C was mostly the old guard from electronic games. EGM was mostly arcade rats, people who were familiar with the import scene. If those people were professionals, Diehard GameFan was the extremely unprofessional dark side version of them. This magazine was basically hiring people who just had an interest in import video games. It often hired people before they exited high school. Many of their first staffers were 15 or 16 at the time. Some of them were just barely hitting 18 by the time this issue hit the stands. And another key factor we should mention, a factor I should mention before that, is that I have no intention to slander any of these people, nor do I want anyone to go after these people, so please leave them alone. Please let them have a quiet life 30 years after the fact.
Please, do not bother them. If you bother them, we will curse you.
But there are some facts about this issue which should be known, just to give you further context. This magazine was famously headed by a guy who used to sell used cars, and a lot of the first employees came from that used car dealership.
Wait.
He had this entourage of people that he just hired to, sell the cars. And then eventually he had that shipping business. So he had him answer phones and ship out orders. And then when the magazine came around, he was just like, hey guys, you want to write for a video game magazine? And I bet some of them said, what's a video game? And he was like, you're hired. There's more to say, but we'll reveal more about the story as we go on.
Okay.
Around this time, you can see advertisements for RoboCop vs. Terminator, the video game.
Video game? They make those?
Now available for your favorite game system. That's a hell of a thing to say, considering Super Nintendo and Genesis RoboCop vs. Terminator are very different games. The Genesis one is way better, for the record. Welcome one and all to the editorial zone.
The editorial zone!
Here in the masthead, you can see all the different names associated with this thing. Oh my god, these names. You got old Dave H there at the top. A lot of this magazine is his responsibility, by which I mean a lot of this magazine was put together at the very end of deadline. This was like the last 72-hour crunch So Dave H. had to do the majority of the editorial text himself, all in one big death run. Just write and write and write and write and write until the very deadline, until the issue has to be pushed out to to the retail shelves. Welcome to the second year of GameFan and the best Christmas for gamers ever.
Wait. Okay.
Some lucky New Yorkers and San Franciscans will be enjoying Jaguars this holiday season. All the rest of us will get to spend an extra happy New Year with the big cat. That's what we're calling it now.
I guess so.
Others will enjoy a healthy offering of Genesis, while Sega CD owners will see the best games yet. Those of you with a talent for pleading may land a 3DO. That would be a lot of pleading.
That would be, yeah, no. That's...
I would have to do like multiple years of pleading in order to work my way up to a 3DO pre-order. That thing was $700 at this point. That also bears mentioning. 93, it was going to be all 16-bit games on store shelves, except for the recently premiered 3DO and Jaguar. 3DO had a few months of a head start, so there was like a handful of games. Jaguar was launching with 2 games, both of which we're going to see in this issue. I provided you with a handy Christmas list to make things easier when Grandma asks you what you want.
Grandma, please.
Now you won't get a tin of Danish cookies. I love those, though. Give me those.
Do you like those Danish cookies?
I love Danish cookies.
Those little tins.
After this, it's on to CES to see what 94 will bring. There's so much on the horizon. Man, like I was saying, this is just right before the big explosion, right before the PlayStation and Saturn came out. This is just Jaguar, 3DO, and 16-bit. What a weird time for games. One thing's for sure, we won't be bored. And it seems there's something for everyone in every pocketbook.
Wait. Sega's DSP attachment, is that the 32X?
I think they were referring to that chip that was used to power Virtua Racing. I guess it was planned to be something more than that. Then again, these guys often made up a lot of stuff, so who knows. Earlier for this month, an ad for a game copier was submitted to us here at GF. We, of course, immediately rejected it, but the fact that such ads even exist deeply disturbs me.
This is such a weird...
Game copiers, they call them storage devices now for cover, are the most uncool creations there have ever been. They pose a serious threat to our industry. Avoid them like the plague. Not to end things on a negative note, I'm looking forward to our second year, the holidays, the show, and of course 94 video gaming's true breakthrough year. See you next month.
This was kind of all over the place.
Can you tell this was written all in a rush, right before deadline, along with other extenuating factors?
A little bit.
Down here you see the crew. Just like GamePro and EGM, these guys had personas. I guess EGM used their real names, but...
Mr. Goo!
Special K, Kid Fantastic, Taco, Skid, Sergeant Gamer, Mr. Goo, The Inquirer, E-Storm, K. Lee, and Takahara. So, not to spoil...
Mr. Goo!
Not to spoil too much, but the majority of this magazine was due to this guy right here, E-Storm, also known as Ernest Storm. Ernest taking inspiration from Ernest Evans. I'm legit not shitting you about that.
Yes, he does look like Ernest Evans. Oh my god.
He was also a ghostwriter under several other names.
Was he Sergeant Gamer?
He was Sergeant Gamer. He was Sergeant Gamer. He was Skid. I think Takahara was one of his pseudonyms as well. And often there would be actual names in the magazine that was just attributed to someone who didn't write the article. Often it would be like, supposedly at the beginning they didn't have people who knew how to type. So like people who were in publishing had to manually type up the reviews as they were read to them. It would just be like, Kirby's latest outing on Super Nintendo is good. Wait, backspace. Great. There you go. Can you imagine writing like that?
You can learn how to type. Anyways, thank you, Hexagon Witch, 39-month resub. Hexagon Witch knows how to type. You can learn.
Well, look, these were all a bunch of E-Storm's buddies from the old car dealership, and they didn't have they didn't have much way in practical skills. But they did have...
Oh, are you saying it's not readable? That's actually one of the amazing things about Diehard GameFan.
Now, what this team did have was office camaraderie, by which I mean this office sounded like a hellscape.
Yeah.
And also a dream opportunity for any teenager in the 90s. So they were known for doing all kinds of wackiness, pulling all kinds of pranks, and during the last-minute deadline production of this issue, one of these people... I know who it is, but I'm not going to say it is. This is confirmed, by the way. This is confirmed by everyone working on the magazine who mentioned this issue. In the final hours leading up to deadline, one of these guys dosed the office coffee pot with LSD. That's somehow not a joke.
Not a joke.
Put a small quantity of LSD in the old office coffee pot and let people do their work for the last 72 hours. Supposedly this wasn't like, it didn't lead to major freakouts or anything, but people were staring at their screens for many, many hours, often for more than 24 hours at a time. They didn't find out until after the fact, at which point one of them threatened to kill another one of them, and it all kind of went downhill from that. But that's your context for this issue. Overworked, underpaid, completely unprepared and unprofessional staff working for horrible pay, probably, on a completely unrealistic deadline, dosed up with LSD. That's what this issue is going to be all about. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, here's Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair is a story about a brave knight who took some LSD, and here you can see the effects. What was that office even like? All sorts of fun stories from that office. I could just talk for hours and hours about everything I heard. But for now, let's look at what was being advertised in December 93. Sega CD Dragon's Lair. Can you believe the Sega CD version of this game was being advertised specifically over the other versions? That's how big the Sega CD was. Also got Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, the hated Genesis version.
Oh, I love the paint strokes on my man there.
The Genesis version, infamously bad. You can infinite throw everyone. NES version, amazing. It came out on NES. The Super Nintendo one is the one you want, though. That game is incredible. They somehow made a game that stood up with all the best fighters, and then they just put it on Super Nintendo and gave it a kid's cartoon license. That was Konami.
That shark.
That's a good shark. What's his name?
Shark.
Amadon, I think, something like that. Megagon.
Furries, look at that shark. Pay attention.
Here's your table of contents. Is this looking any more readable to you?
See, there was something about the absolute absurd graphic design of Diehard GameFan. It's like maximalism times 100. I kind of adore it.
Armagon, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We see your regular features here in GameFan, starting off with the editorial zone, Most Wanted, The Adventures of Monitor. Oh my god, we're actually going to read one of those.
Yes, The Adventures of Monitor. I would religiously read that. First thing I would read every time I got a new issue of GameFan.
One thing I got to say about GameFan, they were big ahead of the curve on the popularity of sports games. So much so that they dedicated literally 40 pages to it in this December issue. That's kind of overkill, but also sports games are popular, so why not?
They're also ahead of the curve on the whole anime being big.
Oh yeah, we'll see plenty of anime coverage in this too. Here they have a new feature called Jaguar's Domain, so new that they had to put it in the back of the magazine. But notice they also cover a PC Engine, PC Laserdiscs, and CD32.
See, that's why I really like Die Hard GameFan, is because I really wanted a multimedia system. All I had was like a CD, nothing more.
That was the appeal for me as a kid. Yeah, I would pick up this magazine not expecting to see stuff on games that I knew about, but stuff that I may not ever play, just weird things. I was so interested in video games, I just wanted to know about all of them, and that's what this magazine was good for.
Mm-hmm.
All art by Terry Wolfinger.
Hey, Terry!
Back then known as Master of the Airbrush. Since then, he's become a wonderful artist, actually.
Oh, yeah, Terry's
He's
wonderful.
very skilled across a number of mediums and genres, so good for him. At this point, he was literally 18 years old, though, so he was just at the very start of his career.
He's really good for 18. I'm a huge fan of Terry's work, so yeah, go check it out.
Here's his cover. He did all the magazine's covers, he did the comics, he did the illustrations of the personas.
I gotta love the man who invented Monitor, you know?
Yeah, you gotta love him. Sneak peek at what's to come. Oh my god.
A metal eye opener.
It sure was an eye opener. That fucking T2 game for Genesis and Super Nintendo. Horrible.
Oh.
Absolutely terrible game. You know what's not terrible, though?
The Jaguar!
We're chewing up the competition bit by bit.
I remember that awful Jaguar drawing. Look, it's gonna kill Sonic and
look at them run. Look how scared they are.
What I love is the that they use the Yoshi's Cookies art.
Yeah, this is just Yoshi's Cookie key art, and this is drawn by, I don't know who this Sonic. This looks like it comes from the comic.
The Saturday morning cartoon.
I don't know. Jaguar was kind of all over the place.
Hey! Scroll back down.
Yeah.
Go up. Down. It's at the bottom of the thing. Honey, get bit by Jaguar.
Something on the new Jaguar interactive multimedia system. See, it's multimedia. They said so.
Tiny Toons. Did the Tiny Toons game come out?
Nope.
Damn. Damn.
We played the prototypes of those.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Those were unreleased. Make sure to run to the nearest store. Everybody else will be there chomping at the bit to buy one. Isn't it champing at the bit?
It is, and I know that's something that annoys you.
I hate it when they do that. If you're going to use fucking idioms, at least get them right. Yeah, there's that unreleased Tiny Toons game. Amazing. Here we see some screenshots of Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy. If you're wondering how this was sold to kids, this is how it was sold. What the fuck? Give me the right control scheme.
Danny, Danny set up the controller to control the
oh
PDF
my god!
viewer,
It's literally giving me different controls than it was before stream. That's great. I'm using a controller as an AirSats control key, and I thought the D-pad would work like I thought it would, but apparently not.
Sorry, honey.
Must be that 64-bit.
Just get bit by Jaguar. Get bit by Jaguar.
Travel with thy controller in hand to a land where cheaters prosper. Hocus pocus. This was in a lot of magazines at the time. They had a cheat section. You would learn how to cheat at Mortal Kombat.
How would you describe the vibe of GameFan here? Because I want to say it's just bonkers, but I don't.
How would I describe it?
Look at that Sonic and Mario staff.
Not sure. Psycho is how I would describe this magazine.
It has Psycho vibes.
I think I would say that this
Do
magazine
you
has
like
Psycho
him?
vibes.
The Grand Vizier of Gaming.
Who even is this guy?
Hocus pocus, Danny. I've melted Sonic and Mario into one foul beast ready to
I
kill.
don't like it. Why do they both
Sicko
have
vibes,
fangs?
Thank you.
Sickos, yeah. This is a magazine for sickos.
It
basically.
really is.
Here's some cheese for you Jaguar XJ220 owners for Sega CD, you poor bastards. I always thought this cover was really weird looking. Is it just me?
Doesn't he look like he's just kind of like, oh.
He looks like he's about to throw up.
He looks sad, but not like just mildly sad.
And like, I don't know if it's present in this illustration. It kind of is. You can see Dalsim very faintly teleporting into the background. You can see like a knee down here.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
I don't know what's
Get
up
this
with that
out of
cover.
here.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo slow doesn't go. We've made him faster and stronger. Get revved for 78 possible matches. Can someone do the math on that? Is that true? Let's get the Atari Jaguar people to do this math. Dalsim executes his yoga teleport. Las Vegas, tonight's fight is Blanca's new vertical ball versus Vega's claw. This would be pretty fucked up to see on the strip, I gotta say,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
wouldn't be the most unusual thing I've seen on the strip.
I usually don't like seeing people like fighting to the death in front of me, but you know how it goes. More Hocus Pocus.
We got some more codes, including a code for Sonic CD. This is how you,
That's the wrong two for too short.
yeah, well,
They were on LSD.
this is what you do to turn all the futures good and collect all the Chaos Emeralds. So keep that in mind before you criticize.
Okay. Oh my god, it is cows.
Here's David Perry. He would put his own face into his video games, and you would enter a cheat code, and he'd be like, haha, you've discovered my cheat code.
Time for some cheatiness.
Not all these people are jesters, Alex. Just the people putting the LSD in the coffee.
Okay.
Now it's time for cheatiness. Crash and Burn for 3DO. Cheats for those of you who need that. All you rich kids.
If you could actually read it.
Mega Man 4 for Game Boy. I guess they did advertise Game Boy stuff back then. Wily's 8 most rotten robotic renegades return. Ready for the reunion?
No.
Alliteration sucks balls. I'm just gonna say
Damn, Danny.
it. Like, fucking get a new gimmick. Even Shakespeare thought that shit was played.
Wow.
Here's something you won't see in any other magazine, an entire page of Pro Action replay codes. Not even the Game Genie, its much more popular counterpart, but the Pro Action replay, the thing you had to go in the backs of magazines to order. Did anyone here have a Pro Action replay?
No, I had a NES Game Genie, and that was it. That was fucking it.
Unlimited Monster Potion, Unlimited Ghost Kid Potion, Unlimited Pandora's Box, Unlimited Skeleton Keys,
Unlimited skeleton keys.
Unlimited Skeletons. Now at the Skeleton Olive Garden.
Oh, some people are like, you never cheated in your house. Well, you should have cheated. I'm kidding.
I had an NES Game Genie. Got it when They pulled it off the market. I guess my dad thought that he was being counterculture or something. He was all like, they won't let you have it. Well, this has got to be a good thing. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Freaking awesome.
Okay, where's Peter Griffin?
So, guesses as to what this is an ad for? You get one guess. A video game in 1993. What is it?
God, okay, chat saying Bubsy, Awesome Possum, Bubsy, the
Awesome
Army.
Possum is a good guess. Daytona, USA. Revengers of Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
So, judging by ads back then, you probably think this game can't be awesome, but sometimes they are. Sometimes it's Super Turrican.
Turrican?
Which actually is a freaking awesome game. They were right, and they should say it. Weirdly enough, they show the NES Turrican, which was not released over here. It only got a PAL release. One of the best. Wow, it's an ad from Seika.
That's
breaking
so
all
weird.
the rules.
Look at that. Okay,
God.
breaking all the rules kicks ass.
More codes, jeez. Kids and your insatiable appetite for codes.
Codes were a big deal back then. I remember that was like,
Especially for Sonic CD, that game
Yeah.
had good codes.
It had so many codes.
It had unlockables, it had codes you could unlock through the hidden sound test. It had like multiple layers of codes. It was cool. Kids
Breaking all
today, they don't appreciate this. They're all like, what? This isn't Fortnite.
I was like, this isn't a TikTok.
Who likes the Super Nintendo version of Art of Fighting? Does anyone? I'm not sure if anyone really likes Super Nintendo Art of Fighting. Regardless, they ported it.
There's a sweepstakes. What's the prize?
Let's find out. Free gift for entering. That's cool.
Okay, what is it?
You could win a Neo Geo. You
Mhm.
could win
that's
Super Nintendo
good.
Art of Fighting t-shirts, pins.
Special free gift is a cool poster.
Everybody-
Art of Fighting kit with a cool poster, a Mean Street strategy guide, and lots more.
I want that.
I want that too.
I always look down here to see the actual value of this stuff. Retail value of Neo Geo with an Art of Fighting cartridge, $899. That is not a typo. The Neo Geo home system cost $600, $700, and individual cartridges were $200 a piece.
Whew.
25 Art of Fighting Super NES game packs. I don't think you're supposed to add it up. I think you're just supposed to say the retail price of one of them, but sure.
Mhm.
It's 250 t-shirts collectively valued at $13.12. A collection of 1,000 pins that are valued at $1,000. Because that's how that works, I guess. X. Man. This fucking game. This horrible, horrible video game. This ad was in all the magazines at the time, and they made it look so cool. They were all like, you could play as all the X-Men and Spider-Man? They're teaming up for the first time? And this game's a piece of shit? Believe it, it is a piece of shit.
Welcome, Matthew. We are looking at Diehard GameFan 1993 December, and it is
Alex.
That's my face. Those are my but all of those faces are me. Me.
That's me. And
That's me.
this is me. And this is me. This is me. They're all me. Here's your chance to let all the game companies know what you're playing, what you would like to see in the future. So drop us a postcard. Are you going to
fabulous prize?
Are you going to tell them? Are you just going to email
Well, yeah.
these?
What are you gonna do?
Hey Shigeru Miyamoto, you hear about what the kids want? And apparently there was also a drawing. So, what was popular in December 1993 according to GameFan? Well, let's find out.
We got.
Super Street Fighter, or rather just Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Okay. Gunstar Hero is an excellent pick. That is totally something GameFan would center on and champion. Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Sylphid for Sega CD.
Nerds, but yes.
This, in any other magazine, this would be nothing but fighting games and maybe like a platformer. But over here, they're all like, oh, Sylphid, that's the wave of the future. And I'm like, yeah, at least someone knows. They rated above Star Fox. Ain't that a hell of a thing? More people are...
Sylphid better than Star Fox?
Supposedly. It's official.
Alright, whatever.
Aladdin for Genesis. See? Officially, Aladdin for Genesis is the better Aladdin. Take that, Super Nintendo lovers. At number 7, it's Echo the Dolphin, misspelled. I'm not sure anyone really liked Echo the Dolphin who actually played all the way through it, but sure, go off.
That is misspelled. I love them.
Flashback, another extremely difficult, extremely good-looking game, so of course GameFan loved it. And rounding out the top 10, Streets of Rage 2. What's that doing all the way down here?
It's with Final Fantasy 2.
And Final Fantasy 2, which at this point was a couple years old, so I guess it had some staying power. Streets of Rage 2. Not as good as Echo the Dolphin. Now over here, they would have the most wanted list. I don't know how they got this. I don't know how they determined this. Based on what I've read, mostly what they did was scan old issues of Famitsu, or I guess they would be current issues at the time of this writing. Sometimes they would just, in their early days, they would just steal screenshots before they had an actual screenshot producing machine. But they would also look through these magazines for their reader polls, and I guess they would make a composite for their US market here. The most wanted game in America, December 1993, was Sonic CD. I wish that were true.
I believe it to be true in my heart.
I wish to God that that was true, that everyone in 1993 wanted a Sega CD, and specifically Sonic CD, but sometimes the people, they just don't know what they want. Lunar for Sega CD, number 2. The top 2 games anyone wants, Christmas 93. They're both for Sega CD. Take your Super Nintendo and cram it.
I wrote this then, yeah?
ActRaiser 2, I guess that's a pretty good looking Super Nintendo game. It's no Sega CD game though. Number 4, guys, come on. Are you serious? First of all, it's called Clay Fighter. Second of all, why is it on this list?
You're not excited for Clay Fighters? Get out of here.
It's called Clay Fighter.
No, it's Clay Fighters, and him and Echo the Dolphin are the best games, and if you don't like them, I don't know what we're going to do.
People also looking forward to Super Empire Strikes Back, the famously impossible game for Super Nintendo. Fatal Fury 2 makes more sense. It's a popular port of an SNK fighter. Tournament Fighters, Mega Man X. Now we're talking. Any other magazine, like I just said, would flip this list on its head, and they wouldn't even have Sega CD games at all. And closing things out, a little game called NBA Jam. I don't know if you heard of it. And Castlevania for Genesis, which at this point didn't even have a title. It was just something to look forward to.
Well, shit.
And this is something you would see in every issue. You'd just be like, who thinks these things? Should I think these things? I guess I should.
I want a free year of GameFan.
Congratulations to these people. Brian Sims, Phil Patino. Congrats on living in Pico Rivera, California.
Ooh, I see the 3DO. Ooh.
Big news, everyone. John Madden is coming to 3DO.
It's real.
It's real. You're downfield towards the end zone, eating up yardage. People are fucking puking on the field.
Danny.
It's real, man. 16 million displayable colors, the digital CD sound, a RISC chip. Do you have a RISC chip, Alex?
No. That's the thing that they're putting in monkeys' heads that are killing them, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. It was pretty big news. John Madden Football coming to 3DO. This is an upgraded version that didn't really have an equivalent at the time. It's just, did anyone want to spend $700 on this? The answer was no. Here it is. Here's their big wish list that you can give Grandma, like they said. And Grandma's like, I can't read this.
Grandma's like, please.
Can't you just type this out nicely and just give it to me instead of making me read black on red?
Read Monitar's giant head.
He's some pretty good games.
Wonder
Zombies.
Dog. I see Wonder Dog.
Of course, Wonder Dog. Fucking E-Storm was always just beating the drum for Wonder Dog, being like, this is the best game ever. If you don't play this, you're an idiot. Rocket Knight Adventures, Son of Chuck. Bubsy? You want to circle Bubsy?
Bubsy. Socket.
They got Socket the Time Duck on there.
Stimpy's Invention.
Oh, these are so few. Okay, I would circle Lunar and Sonic CD.
Uh-huh.
I would circle, actually, I got Wonder Dog for Christmas, so I guess I would circle that too. And I would circle Road Avenger for sure.
Road Avenger for sure.
Singular, not plural. I don't know what Road Avengers is. Mario All-Stars. Shouldn't that have been on the top 10 lists back there?
Don't worry about it.
Star Fox? I mean, these are pretty big games, guys.
Zombies? Is that like Zombies Ate My Neighbors or just Zombies?
Yeah, in Europe it was just called Zombies.
Oh.
And I think that was the prototype name that they were going after.
Okay.
For Jaguar, you want Cybermorph, Alien vs. Predator, Raiden, and anything else you can get your hands on. Take it off the truck. It's their fault for making you want it. 3DO spelled with a 0. Fuck you! God,
you know how long
damn
it took? It took me how many years of streaming to get that right?
You spell it with an O, not a 0, you dipshit. God. To this day, that pisses me off. Neo Geo, you want Samurai Showdown and Fatal Fury Special and anything other than fighting. At this point, even at this point, people were starting to get sick of fighting games on Neo Geo. Sports games, you may want to get some of this shit. Bill Walsh College Football. You don't want Montana for Sega CD? That game is horrible. Come on. Come on, E-Storm.
It's... God. Do you want Wicked 18?
Was Wicked 18 on there? It really is. That's cool. I do want Wicked 18.
Sega CD owners asked. We listened. Sorry.
Now it's here. Lunar the Silver Star.
Yes.
True role-playing, CD sound, hot animations.
And they're right. One of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah, sometimes they get it right. This Lunar game, me and Alex are big fans.
Our games go to 11.
It's true.
The fucking...
Good old Working Designs. A studio that had a rocky relationship with GameFan, apparently. Also being advertised, fucking Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Beware.
This apparently came out long after the movie and was very late to retail. I don't think it was received very well, but they do have shots from the Sega CD version, our beloved Sega CD version down here. Available for all Nintendo and Sega platforms. I wonder if that's true. Was there a Game Boy version? Was there a Game Gear version?
Was there an NES version?
Oh, and here we come to the meat of the magazine. You would always, after picking this up off the newsstand or getting it in the mail, you would always look to Viewpoint, their collection of video game reviews of the hot and upcoming titles.
There was an NES version, okay.
Oh, nice. Man, there was all kinds of write-in campaigns for this thing. No wonder they got an audience.
They're like, please write to us. Wow, very readable, love it.
So, can you read this? Alex, why don't you read this whole page for me?
This is like, no, this is the test this is the test they give you at the doctor so you know you're blind. I can't...
No, doctor, I can't see a single letter in this. I can see the word viewpoint, and honesty is our only excuse, and that's it. So this is not uncommon for magazines at the time. They would often open with these four-person panels of video game reviews. Famously, Famitsu did this, so did EGM. GamePro was more about just single-person reviews, and they would give exploding head ratings, as we all know.
The famous exploding heads.
The exploding head rating system, it just works. What do we got with these people? God. I can't believe it. My pick of the month is an Atari game. Will this happen often? If Cybermorph is any indication, then I guess so. This is one of those games that takes a week to beat. So I really feel you guys will get your money's worth when you buy your Jags. You're just torturing me in particular.
Sorry.
We have an apostrophe shortage, you fuck. You are getting one, aren't you? You didn't use one here when it's needed. Why did I even go to school? Fuck. Sergeant Gamer's pick. Atari scores with its introduction of the Jaguar and Cybermorph. 64-bit gaming is here, and it has announced its presence with authority. The lucky 50,000 Jaguar owners will be playing this for months to come. $225, that's it! The next generation's here! They were thinking this thing was going to sell out, and there would just be like this contingent of Jaguar fans that would define the rest of the gaming landscape for the rest of the year. Those lucky 50,000. Kaylee, usually all about fighting games, but believe it or not, this month, I'm not picking a fighting game. My pick is Lunar, because it is to RPGs what Street Fighter II is to fighting games.
Okay.
Bold claim, I would actually say yes, he's right.
I agree, Kay.
Not normally an RPG freak, but this game kept me glued from start to finish. Was it the music, the graphics, the story? I don't know, but now I know how E-Storm feels. Until now, I just thought he was weird. Finally,
Kid fan. What do you like?
Got to agree with the skid mark and the Mexican food on this one. What? And go with Cybermorph. I guess that's an Office In joke, huh? I'm now a believer in the 3D genre.
What the fuck? I don't even know what they...
Until now, games like this were as chunky as my chili, but now with the introduction of the Jaguar, games like this are as smooth as my guacamole. I think he's hungry. My only hope is that
he's on LSD.
They keep it up, because if I can get just one more game that's good every month, I'll be a happy guy. The next generation is going to be fun. let's mention this. They were also GameFan is also infamous for a certain page that went to print that had a number of racial slurs in it.
Yeah.
This was placeholder text. It was pretty much, you could tell, just a guy typing and typing and typing in order to fill space. Because the way this magazine did their thing is they would lay down all the screenshots and then just put in placeholder text, and then later some guy would finish it up. Apparently the pair of editors were friends, and one of them was Japanese American, and they had friendly rivalry and would often throw racial slurs at each other. So in that context, the how that came to print makes more sense. But what they did at the time, instead of saying that it was just a joke between friends that got out of hand, they said that their rivals at EGM sabotaged the issue and they'd be going to court. Oh, GameFan, you're so funny.
Thank you, Laughboy, 23-month resub. Yeah, you get original game magazines. Thank you for the sub.
Thank you. Eternal Champions, the big game this month. The cover in EGM. What does GameFan think? 70s across the board. Look at this. What a disappointment. You see, a lot of work has gone in, but the end result is a confused fighter. 24 megs of action. It's better than Street Fighter 2. Blah, blah, blah. Ho hum. Damn.
Wow.
Holy shit. I don't think Capcom will have to worry much about Sega's Street Fighter 2 killer. It's not even in the same galaxy as Street Fighter. It just sounds like they're dogging on it now because EGM loved it so much. Sort of a letdown, just above average. As far as the music goes, I have to say, make sure you have the TV on mute. What I'm wondering is where the 24 meg go.
Wow.
Meg counts were big among these guys, and they would often take you to task if your game...
Wait. So they preferred High Seas Havoc to Eternal Champions?
They sure did.
That is such a brave stance.
The
oh my
8
god.
meg Data East platformer easily trounces the 24 meg hugely hyped Eternal Champions. Havoc successful enters the lofty small character action platform genre. Is that what you call action platformers? I'm gonna have to tell Dot to rename her project.
Yeah.
It's called small character action platform genre games now. Sonic, Sparkster, Socket, and the rest of the boys.
Sonic, Sparkster, Socket, and the rest of the boys. Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Straight
high
ahead.
scores Havoc.
Straight ahead action platform game. Havoc is their best to date. This game really surprised me. Some people actually do really like High Seas Havoc. I'm not one of them. But the game does have some good qualities that GameFan obviously saw here. Pushes the Genesis sound chip to the max. I've heard that this also has really good music, too. Although similar to Sonic, the game has its own uniqueness and makes it stand out above the rest. Period, space, comma. Enough said.
Again, LSD.
Joe and Mac, the Sega Genesis version. This came out a couple years after the Super Nintendo launch title. This was a port of the arcade Joe and Mac. Very different from Super Nintendo 1. And here, this is who this port was for. The people who would appreciate an arcade port as opposed to something more. A little slow, but very fun.
Again,
Fans of the arcade games.
They like it more than Eternal Champions.
Maybe they're just Data East fans.
Shit, I am.
I liked it on the Super Nintendo, and I like this just as much. Not the most incredible game. It even has the twirling arm attack from the coin op.
Nerd! I respect it, though.
Equally impressive version for Genesis. It's weird that they would say they're equally as good because a lot of people just straight up prefer the Super Nintendo Joe and Mac. Overall feeling is intact. I'm all about that. You gotta have the feeling intact. Okay, Lunar the Silver Star. What kind of scores do you think this thing got?
90s. It's in the 90s. It's gotta be in the 90s. 90s. You know it's in the 90s. Oh, who was right?
98%. Lunar is far and away the best RPG I've ever played in English. Everything is perfect. So 98%. The graphics, the fighting engine, the music, and the story. Working Designs knows how to translate RPGs. Set aside a week this Christmas and escape. Why capital E with Lunar?
Don't worry about it, Danny.
Maybe he meant it
they
like
didn't misspell Christmas. Critmas.
Critmas.
Again, thank you to everyone who's preserving magazines. Thank you, Obscuratory, for doing magazine preservation. All y'all doing that work.
Yeah, thank you so much. These magazines are a real trip, and they're historically significant. I honestly believe that, so thank you for doing that. Do they mean escape like the Margarita song? Is that what that's called? What's that song I'm trying to think of that's just Escape?
It is the Margarita song.
That's what it is. Okay. Maybe a Jimmy Buffett fan in the office. Well conceived and executed RPG that'll challenge even the best RPG players. They did well to pick it up. It's a welcome change for CD owners. One of the best games on the system.
I can't disagree with any of it.
If you can imagine a Sega CD version of Final Fantasy II, then you've got a pretty good idea of what kind of game Lunar is.
Alright, chat is... They're beating our ass in the chat. It's Rupert Holmes who did the Pina Colada song.
Oh, fuck, you're right. I should stop saying things. I've been wrong about a lot of things lately.
You're not wrong about Lunar.
Yeah.
It is great. The greatest magazine ever made, yes. The greatest game ever made, according to these guys. And they're not wrong.
This guy only gave it a 95%.
Okay.
Translated the greatest RPG of all time. The greatest RPG of all time only gets a 95. Man, also one of the longest RPGs I've ever played. If you're a lucky owner of a Sega CD, buy it and prepare to be blown away to RPG heaven. Climb aboard the air spout coming up from the earth. You're gonna get blown away to RPG heaven. But Lunar, somehow, with rankings of 98, 97, 98, and 95, was not their game of the month.
Mm-mm.
It was not their game of the month. We're gonna see what that game is at the end of this next page. Soldier of Fortune, also known as something else on Amiga. The title's not coming to me. I'm sure someone knows it. This is an overhead view shoot 'em up. They seem to like it just fine. When played 2-player is excellent.
The Chaos Engine.
That's what it is, yeah.
Thank you, chat.
Good old Bitmap Brothers. Genre has not seen a whole lot of new releases, you're right. One of the better 2-player games. If you're into the Smash TV style of game, you'll love Soph.
I love Soph.
Really cool 2-player overhead action shooter. It's got everything from creatures to carnage displayed in great graphic detail. I think that came from the press release.
Hey, listen, it's less copy they have to write, okay?
That's true.
I don't know what they're seeing at this point.
Oh man, what do we got to review next? Oh no, the LSD's kicking in. No, sorry guys, the game just looks like this. It's Toe Jam and Earl 2. I don't find these characters or the funk premise desirable at all. I think a heavy metal premise would sell better in the 90s. Not that I'm a headbanger dude, however, this is a great game. Play mechanics, graphics, layout, eye-popping color, and length of the game put it in a category of the best of the action genre, and the injected humor is also excellent. The level of creativity is amazing.
Yeah, that's Toe Jam and Earl. That's the sequel.
Yeah, they made it a platformer.
The sequel in the name there.
It's just another Toe Jam and Earl.
Don't worry about it.
Toe Jam. I've been waiting for this sequel for some time, and I'm ready to put a little more funk into my game-playing diet. Ugh. Ugh. I hate reading something like that. Like the original, it's a must-buy. 93%, very high for this game. Toe Jam fans rejoice. God, there's another cliche I never want to see. When you don't know how to write a headline, just write subject of the article, comma, rejoice. Like Toe Jam and Earl fans rejoice. Neo Geo owners rejoice. Everybody rejoice for video games. This is becoming the Danny complains about video game journalism.
It is. It's really funny. This is always what happens in these streams, isn't it?
Yeah.
Danny just kind of melts down. I'm sorry. You're not.
The twist ending to this is that my first job as a writer in the games industry was literally as a staff writer for the sequel to Diehard GameFan called Hardcore Gamer Magazine. So I can't talk too much shit because I was part of it technically.
Yeah, Wolfinger even drew a picture of Danny's.
Yeah, he's drawn my character several times. He made him look really cool. Man, that was a time. But that's a story for another day. We never had an LSD coffee pot moment, mostly because we never had an office, and the entire magazine was located on an internet forum. But anyway, this guy didn't like Toe Jam and Earl too much. I had high expectations. I'm happy to say this time Sega's outdone themselves. Took all the originality and humor and brought it to the next level. Is it fun to play? Big time. All I have to say is funky.
Funky.
Treasureland. The McDonald's game for Genesis. This game crossed my workstation.
They also liked it more than the Internal Champions.
They did. Saw the treasure logo and I changed my mind. Take out Ronald and put in a cool character and you can add 10 points to my score. Wow. Ronald McDonald. Put on blast.
To be fair,
This poor clown.
Ronald is pretty cringe.
Really?
Yeah!
You gonna do Ronald like that on my stream?
Oh, are you colluding with Ronald McDonald to do game journalism crimes, Danny?
Alex, I think anyone who wrote in this issue would disagree with you, but
Okay.
anyway, let's go on. Gunstar heroes are responsible. A good time is guaranteed for all. Ronald takes you to some of the best in the good. Okay, I guess that sentence makes sense. After playing Gunstar Heroes, because this is technically Treasure's second release, it was going to be their first release, but they didn't want it to be a. They didn't want their first ever game to be a McDonald's game, so they told Sega to release Gunstar first.
That's
So
fair.
maybe they didn't like Ronald McDonald either.
Damn.
It's amazing that Treasure can take a character as weak as Ronald and make a game this good.
I
We're on a
guess he's
roll.
weak.
You'll be impressed and will forget you're playing as a chubby clown who's eaten one too many quarter pounders. Fucking dunk on him.
Fuck,
Get
he
his
looks
ass.
normal. He doesn't look. He just looks like Ronald McDonald. Sheesh.
Also on this page, a little game called Dracula X.
Okay.
sort
Do they
of-
like that?
This is sort of a good month for all-timers, like some of the best games of all time. Yeah, Dracula X for PC Engine. Did really well with GameFan.
Yeah, Vega baby. Ronald McDonald is famously a lanky man.
All comes at a time when the duo is dead.
Anyways.
Often they would lament the U.S. Department of the TurboGrafx 16 people being like, you didn't bring over any of your good games. Meanwhile, Johnny Turbo, who's working at the place, is like, I know, I tried.
Hey, I see another wrong too. It's too bad.
It's too bad.
It's too bad. I love it. I love it so much.
Absolutely brilliant. If TTI had this game 3 years... They can't shut up about how bad the TurboGrafx was handled in America. I guess they have a point. Outstanding. There's not going to be a better reason to buy one. A Turbo Duo, that is. Sheer variety is amazing. Highly orchestrated version of Class. What separates orchestrated from highly orchestrated soundtracks?
How many orchestra hits it has?
Fair enough. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. Dracula X is the best Castlevania since the incredible SNES Castlevania 4. Brought to you in true Q sound. Sends chills down your spine every time I hear it.
Okay, what's this one?
Up next is, well, they gotta do business. They gotta review games like Super Battle Tank 2, which obviously they didn't give a shit about since they gave it 70s and 80s.
Blue on red, the most eye-pleasing color around.
Now you can blast the bad guys without enlisting. And I'm pretty sure that the inside of a real tank may be way smelly anyways. I think this is when the don't give a shit chapter of the LSD trip kicked in. First battle tank was cool, but I was always craving an out of the tank view.
Listen, again,
More words are starting to be misspelled than they are spelled correctly.
I've never reviewed a video game while on hallucinogens, so...
Here at GF, I'm a regular war hero.
10 HUD Lee.
Lawnmower Man. The Super Nintendo and Genesis one.
Yeah, fair.
At first glance, it may look less than spectacular, but upon further investigation, it's very enjoyable. A sequel? You bet. Still waiting. Strong game. Makes good use of the movie license. A little on the hard side. Too difficult, good, but not great. Lester the Unlikely. What would it have been like to review Lester the Unlikely?
On LSD.
Yeah, exactly.
Just watching him move his horrible little lanky cries.
Give it a look, you won't be disappointed. This game for me suffers from average-itis. God, I'm looking at the stream preview and it's just like red and blue.
I know, it's making me a little sick. I love it.
Similar to Prince of Persia. If you like action games with that, the emphasis is more on thinking things out than punch and kick. Give Lester a try. Lufia. How about Lufia? Pretty good RPG for Super Nintendo by Taito. At this point, they were just like, well, it's no Lunar. Lunar
That's
is
fair.
the best RPG ever made. With the current shortage of RPGs taken into account, I rate Lufia high.
There's an RPG shortage, oh no.
We gotta conserve them. These gun games are just too one-dimensional for me. I don't think they ever learned the difference between 2 and 2. Arnold pops up everywhere. Don't shoot me. I'm a movie star. That's his famous line from the game.
Yeah, that's he's Arnold Schwarzenegger famously telling you not to shoot him.
Oh, here they are calling the Super Scope the bazooka. They would often decry it, being like, "Oh, you got a bazooka instead of a light gun." Control's very good, but it gets boring. It's great for SNES, but it ain't the arcade version. Here we go.
Okay, here we fucking go.
Cybermorph. 99%. Mini Megs. We can't count them. There's too many to count.
There's many Megs!
I can't believe this is the Jags pack-in. What a deal. Such a great game. The color's phenomenal. The control's the best I've ever felt, and it'll take weeks to beat. Each level's like a mini-game in itself. If this is the first generation, then the Jag is my system. Atari, wherever you've been, it's nice to have you back. Easily the best of the original Jaguar games. Cybermorph is a 3D texture map tour de force with over 50 levels of real-world shooting that will have you engrossed in the action for weeks. Retrieving pods has never been this fun. Not doing a great job of selling it. This game is the free pack-in with the system, and there's never been a better one. Atari's made a believer of me. Jaguar is on the prowl. The world of gaming will never be the same.
Hell yeah.
Must admit, I did not expect one of the first Jaguar games to be this good. A big Star Fox fan, this game takes that idea and perspective to an entirely new level. You're bringing Star Fox into this?
Folks, do you remember our Cybermorph stream? Do you think it's better than Star Fox?
In Cybermorph, you go anywhere you want, before, during, and after each mission, to the point of almost feeling that you have really been there. It's hard to explain, but this game takes the word interaction to new heights. I hope this is the shape of things to come. Somehow a review where every single sentence is more insane than the last, except for the very last one. Takes the word interaction to new heights. I can't believe this masterpiece is a freebie. I can go. Not only can you go anywhere at any time, but the graphics and smooth real-time environment are truly mind-blowing. 50 worlds to explore, more detailed Star Fox. The game every development house will be copying for years to come. I'm still blown away that I'm playing a game on an Atari system.
Cybermorph.
Cybermorph. And meanwhile, you have the CDI version of Mad Dog McCree, which they didn't like.
What a pile!
The cursor drags. What a pile.
I did not buy my 3DO to play logs like this. Wow!
Okay, so it's the 3DO version. Not a doorstop like Mad Dog McCree. Not a good game in arcades. 3DO version needs even more help. Oof. The control bites big time, 60%. Alright, here we go, the game of the month. We already know what it is, judging by the extreme review scores on this page.
It's Cybermorph.
Of course it's Cybermorph. Cybermorph, the game of the month, December 1993. The only magazine brave enough to tell you so. We're going to see a little bit more of Cybermorph because they give more coverage to these games throughout the issue, but I wanted to give some attention to the reviews.
Yeah, fuck off, Dracula X. Eat shit, Lunar.
Yeah, the games that it's going up against, Dracula X and Lunar, like, holy shit. It's got to be really good. In this game, it's either them or you.
Oh, I remember this. Oh, yeah, Soldiers of Fortune.
As far as disgusting ads go, this is less disgusting than the rest because it's just burnt toast instead of, like, a rotting arm or some spoiled
A rotting
meat.
arm?
Sometimes it was a rotting arm.
I did.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready, folks? This is it. I'm so excited.
I can't believe we're actually doing this. So, comics were part of magazines back then. EGM had Sue and Chan. Early GamePro had The Adventures of GamePro, which was a hell of a thing. And with Terry Wolfinger on board, GameFan had The Adventures of Monitor.
Yes, yes, yes.
Monitor, forever dedicated to protecting video game players from bad games. Seen here is the Postmeister, disgruntled ex-postal worker.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
it's
a thing
the
in the 90s. Equally dedicated in helping to protect gamers everywhere. He's in high spirits right now because of the LSD in the coffee, and because he's no longer the size of a hamster, as seen last issue. Make sure you get the back issue to figure out what happened there.
I shipped them. I'm sorry. I
Well,
don't know why I blurted that out like that.
Until Monitor gets back, I guess I'll just go through some of the mail and hey, what's this? Ah, new game. I don't think the chief will mind if I just test it out. Don't recognize the company though. BGM presents The Abduction. Alright, let's pop this baby in. Kinda low res. Ah, geez, now what? Oh, I get it. The Abduction. Cute. Okay, guys, you can stop. Listen, you lousy low-res sprite soup. The Postmeister has been kidnapped.
He's being kidnapped by all these...
By a poison cartridge from BGM. Scurry, scurry. Whoa, the cartridge melted.
That's sick.
That's good technology. And they're gone as quickly as they came. The only evidence of their presence now lays melting in the game system sometime later. Okay, so where the heck do you guys take me?
I just want to say this. This is so much better spelling than we're used to.
Yeah, with Terry Wolfinger actually lettering this, he can actually spell things correctly. I want to zoom out so you can get the full presence of the next page.
Who? What?
Well, I break free from you guys and I'll... Blowmeister.
The Blowmeister? Who is he supposed to be a parody of?
Some guy from EGM, probably.
Okay.
We meet again, quite possibly for the last time. God, this is classic game fan art.
Yeah, call Good Faces Bob.
Good faces, you're eating good tonight. Why, you miserable stinking of piece of... That does it! Disgruntle! That's his special
the
move.
90s.
That's his special move. Got a grudge to settle with you. Ah, how amusing. Yeah, lunge. Suddenly a panel slides open. Whoosh. Some device rockets out. Choom. And ka-chunk.
Such a noisy comic. I love it.
Oof, oof, grunt. Ah, poor feeble little man. You still have no idea what you are dealing with. But not to worry. I won't be harming you. He's looking up his skirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And yet I wouldn't want anything to happen to my little insurance policy. At that moment, back at GameFan headquarters. Postmeister? Postmeister? I'm back. Hey, Postmeister? I spelled it right this time.
Okay. Terry gets his own misspelling in.
Oh my god!
The U.S. mail. Sorry.
Oh no, what happened here? Breep, breep, breep. Incoming message. Attention, Monitor. Get out of the video game business and leave my company alone, or the Postmeister dies. EGM has kidnapped an employee from a rifle magazine, and they're gonna kill him. They're gonna fucking put him down.
Monitor burns with a rage he has never known. Can you not see why I would ship this as a small child?
No. Next issue. A kinder, gentler Monitor. Not.
He turned like super sexy. What the?
No. Arr, scorch.
I'm sorry, Terry, if you're listening to any of this. I'm sorry you have to know that your art fucked me up, but look at that.
That's
look
incredible.
At that. He's got steam coming off of his muscles.
He's steamy. He's literally steamy. He hulked out because his boyfriend got kidnapped.
I'm sorry. What can you say about any of this?
I didn't make this magazine up. This is real. This is straight from December '93.
This is just my psyche.
Anyway, the Addams Family. Addams Family suddenly looking way more normal compared to,
It's fine. It's regular.
Addams Family. Wow, what a decent bit of Americana compared to... Alex, welcome to the Sega sector.
Oh, I love this. I love all this airbrushing. Is that guy Strider?
There's Sonic. There's a... No, that's a Gunstar.
Okay, sorry. You're right. It's a Gunstar.
And this is a Sylpheed. Mm-hmm. Now, Alex, you want to see the most readable page of video game review in your entire life?
Sure. Ah!
Oh, you were complaining about the review coloring earlier. Are you complaining now?
No, I'm not.
Are you complaining now?
No,
How about now?
no, it's God. What was wrong with me?
Sega, 1 to 2 players, 16 megs, available now.
I kind of love this. I can't look at it, but I like it for that.
So, after the first issue of GameFan went to print, one of the publishing guys came up with a brilliant strategy to capture video game screenshots using something called RGB input, which is not something that was afforded to other magazines at the time, and that is why these screenshots are fucking amazing for the time. They could have words on the screen and it would be actually readable. You could make out the characters. You could actually see the video game for what it is.
It looks good.
And the capture was so good that they decided to use it for their layouts and backgrounds. All these backgrounds you see are taken straight from video game capture, which gave this magazine its distinctive look. On the other hand, sometimes the games were Panic on Funkatron, so the games, the articles looked like this sometimes. That's the price you had to pay.
Readable.
Later on, I think one of the higher-ups of this magazine tried to sue the other guy when he took his RGB capture techniques to other magazines, claiming that it was GameFan proprietary technology. Even though it was just RGB capture, and even though the guy came up with it himself, independent of GameFan, they still threatened legal action. That's pretty funny.
God, look at how good that sprite looks.
Yeah, they would take individual animation frames, they would go frame by frame in these, all to produce this completely unreadable magazine. What can I read in here? Funky musical score, unique play mechanics. The game may have come up with is masterful. It's got jackhammering musclemen, fat fairies, ducks on magic carpets, shutterbugs with a blinding flash, and the toughest of all, a naked guy wearing a cardboard box and singing Figaro.
Wow, so all of these are good. That's all what I like. I like all of that.
God. This page is just... It's just highlighting this one extremely notably garish picture from the video game. God, these layouts.
I kind of love it, though. Like, again, it's maximalist design.
It
Very
really
good.
is. It's so maximalist. And you just have pages and pages of screens for these games. Oh, this is an E-Storm review, so this would be under the influence of LSD.
Okay.
But I think this may have been one of the first reviews he wrote for this particular issue, so maybe it hadn't taken hold just yet.
Yeah, the way they break text across pages is kind of,
If you're into rap-style tunes, I am not, then you will love the music. Yeah, E-Storm was kind of a backwards nerd in a lot of ways. All his taste came from the 70s, and he had a huge mullet. Eternal Champions. Who needs paragraph breaks? Fuck them.
Oh,
Fuck paragraph breaks.
Can you read that?
What's a paragraph break ever done for me? Fucking nothing.
You know what the design of this reminds me of? Like a bunch of zinesters got too much money. They got access to,
This really does seem like a fanzine at its best moments, yeah. What's wrong with Eternal is the glitches. For instance, I beat the entire game with Storm by consecutively hitting Fierce Punch and holding diagonally down. The only character that didn't work for was Slash, so against him, all I did was blah 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 blah.
That's bad.
Turn off the inner strength option with inner strength. This is just so unreadable. It's this huge blob of text. I don't know where to start. Music's beyond bad. Tell him. Fucking tell him. Take that Jim's shit and shove it up your ass. I'm just gonna editorialize on top of this. Inexcusable. So, Eternal Champions ends up being pretty to look at, but has some interesting features. That's about it. And here you have more words. Often they would list characters along with every single move they had.
Gotta fill space somehow.
This guy's a biochemical scientist, and his favorite insult is weakling. Her favorite insult is coward. Everybody, what's your favorite insult?
Loser? I've been liking loser a lot lately.
What about simpleton?
Simpleton's alright, I guess.
Midas touch. Snap back. His favorite insult is punk. Did they say that often in 1920?
Did they? Yeah, let's just say they did. Yeah, this, I'm pretty sure Danny mentioned it, but yeah, this started out as a catalog to order games from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they started off as a mail order company and produced a catalog to promote that kind of thing, and then it just became a magazine. And you can see clearly that influence in the editorial side of this. This caveman, his name is Slash, and his favorite insult is bum.
That's a good insult.
That's the one word he knows. He just goes around shouting bum.
Chat loves Ding Dong, Dingus.
Dingus is pretty good.
Shit for Brains is pretty good too.
Oh,
yeah.
shit for brains. That's a classic. Favorite insult, loser.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite insult, freak. Freak? The freaking merman is calling me a freak?
Sorry, honey.
The circus acrobat likes to call people pigs. That's it. That's all our coverage of Eternal
that's
Champions.
all the insults.
We're going to tell you all the moves, but not how to do them. Does it even tell you? No, it just shows the moves. It doesn't tell you how to do them. That's nuts to me. Why fill up so many pages then? Anyway, enough of that bullshit. What you're here for. What you're here for is Lunar the Silver Star. Sega CD owners starved for RPGs should be playing Lunar the Silver Star about the time this issue comes out. So how do you like it?
Readable.
If you're like thousands of RPG players in Japan, then you're probably having a great time. Believe it or not, Sega of America thinks that RPGs aren't viable in today's market and makes bringing them out a hassle for developers. So, if you want to see more, drop them a line to you. They will listen.
Thank you.
Believe it or not, Sega of America thinks that RPGs aren't viable in today's market and makes bringing them for a hassle. So, yeah, he broke every single rule of grammar in this one sentence. Amazing. He split the infinitives. He did the run-on. This is like an out-of-control run-on. I've covered Lunar.
They will listen.
If you are a regular reader, you're probably familiar with Lunar by now. If not, let me tell you, you're into RPGs known as Sega CD. This is it. Along with the original Ys and Phantasy Star 2, I'd have to say that Lunar is one of the best RPGs ever. It's almost magical. The music alone is enough reason to own this game. It is almost magical. Fighting engine, storyline. Here's Galleon.
Hey, Galleon.
He's just peeking out.
Hey,
What's up, dude?
Good.
Looking good, Galleon. The translation, both voice and text, has been done perfectly. Perfectly by
Absolutely
Working Designs. Uncapitalized. Working Designs capitalized. Next Sega CD title will be Vi. Can you not even keep your fuck-ups consistent? You capitalize it and then uncapitalize it, right? Gah!
You review Lunar on LSD, Danny.
These RPGs, as far as I can see, are the best reason to own a Sega CD. Let SOA know that, and more will surely follow. Maybe Sazan Eyes. Yeah, that stands a real chance.
Yeah, it's really gonna come out, guy.
A lot of good content that's approved for American audiences in that game. Good call, Eaststorm. The North American release for Sazan Eyes did not happen.
You don't say.
We got Joe and Mac. Let's face it, it's hard to resist Joe and Mac, especially in an era where interesting characters are as scarce as a good deal on a used car. Like you would know anything about that, would you?
What?
Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting, considering the history of the staff. 100% of the arcade ingredients, nothing's missing, as was the case with the Super Nintendo version. Does seem slow and basic against other new, more sophisticated programs. Is he looking through a thesaurus for things to call video games?
Who calls... Well, never mind.
Is this Eaststorm too? Of course it's Eaststorm! He did like 90% of this. If you're A, into the dinosaurs thing, B, a fan of the original, C, looking for a good two-player game, or D, like short, squatty, and probably smelly little cave dudes, check out Joe and Mac.
Hey, who in chat like short, squatty, and probably smelly little cave dudes?
There's a whole lot of you. You don't need to flood the chat all at the same time. Help reunite two funny little cave dwellers from BC with their kidnapped cave babes. Hey, it gets cold on the tundra. God, this is...
Don't say that, Eaststorm!
This is beautiful, though. Scenes like this would require multiple screenshots to stitch together, and they stitched together this entire dinosaur.
That's the thing. It's so ugly, but it's so impressive if you know what they had to go through to put this layout together.
And because the sprites are still on the screen, it gives it like kind of a diorama quality to it. I like it. Alright. McDonald's Treasureland Adventure. I actually watched this entire game played through yesterday by Dot Level, and curious to see what these guys think about it. See what their professional opinion is.
Well, they think Ronald McDonald is chubby, so...
Okay, I'll admit, Ronald McDonald is a total freak.
Alright! Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
You can't just open your review by calling Ronald McDonald a total freak.
I mean, just did.
Why he's in a video game is beyond me. However, I cannot deny that this is a great action game programmed to perfection by the wizards at Treasure. Once you get beyond the whole McDonald's thing, the fun can finally begin, and begin it does. This is LSD. This is when it's taken hold. This is when you start typing a sentence without knowing what's going to be at the end of it. So what you end up typing something like, the fun's about to begin. Fuck, what do I type next? And begin it does. On the other hand, maybe you really like Ronald. Just the thought of him takes you back to your childhood with visions of Mom pulling up to the Golden Arches in the family wagon, all set to... Are we talking about a video game right now? All set to grub on an entire meal for about $1 a head. Nah, the dude's a dweeb, so we shall now move on. Although most will classify this title as one aimed towards kids, it has all the ingredients of making a special thing. Programming touches, great music. Ronald uses a rope of handkerchiefs to make use of hooks everywhere. That is true. Bosses are equally impressive. They're all huge, animated incredibly. The only drawback is Ronald. In Japan, where the game was originally designed by Treasure for Sega of Japan, teriyaki burgers and rice cakes replace the bun, are on the menu. But even there, Ronald is considered somewhat of a geek. So why make a game? I guess if Big Mickey D's wants a game, then the yen talks and Sega rocks. It took Treasure to make it great, and great it is. Believe it or not, this game comes highly recommended. Ernest Storm.
Wow.
I think all of that was just written on the fly as like a stream of consciousness kind of thing. Just bang it all out all in one big paragraph. Write the whole review in 10 seconds. Nobody edit it. Just put it right in there.
What's he got against Ronald?
Yeah, it's called Doki Doki Burger. Even people in Japan think that he's a big geek.
Do they?
I wonder. Nah, the dude's a dweeb.
Who's arguing about the coolness of Ronald? No one. Why do you need to?
Yeah,
no one's never thought he was cool.
Half this review went on a big tangent, much like a big trip you would take in the family station wagon to McDonald's. So you're starting to see now that most of the quote-unquote polish in this magazine ended up in the first several pages. Then afterwards, who knows? It was a no man's land. Speaking of which, here's Zool.
Zool!
Looking for some fast action? Then look no further than Zool, GameTech's new fast action game starring Zool, ninja from the nth dimension. Crash landed on a world, blah blah blah, imaginary worlds, both colorful and unique to the action game genre, and while it is somewhat cute, Zool himself is wiry enough to keep the game interesting. Neither a Sonic or Mario clone. It's a completely unique game.
Excuse me. No,
Everything about it screams originality.
No.
Where's your in sarcasm tag? It's excellent music, great color. Once you wire it, great controls. He's fast, he climbs walls, he slides and he kicks and he shoots. Once you learn to contain him, however, you'll find a cool action game with a distinctly unique feel. Storm out. He just did this whole freaking magazine, didn't he?
Yeah.
Virtua Racing. Why didn't we see this earlier in the magazine? Whatever.
Don't worry about it. It's not as good as Zool.
Biggest arcade drivers ever. Also the first Genesis cart to use the DSP.
Oh shit, thank you so much, Punch MSX, for gifting 5 subs to the community. Welcome to Sub Club Lady Linalia, Trough of Luxury, Night Sprites, RPG Maddie, and another Noman. Welcome.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Enjoy. God, Virtual Racing.
Is there anything nuts in this one? They'll continue to dazzle us. Just between you and me with the DSP, the Genesis blows away the Sega CD, a system that may never live up to its hype. VR will be available March 94. Lunar, one of the best games ever according to you, came out this month, and here you are just shitting all over the Sega CD, saying that the DSP can do everything it can, and more. So, whatever, dude. High Seas Havoc. Oh, fuck, here we go.
I love the shit out of this.
Every company is developing or has developed a game to compete in that oh-so-lofty genre of small character action games. What's with small? No one's putting small in this designation.
I mean, they are small animals.
Does it matter?
Yes, they're not big freaks. They're little guys. They're little guys. It's their birthday and they're freaks. That's a big part of platforming appeal.
Why is it always lofty? Because you tend to type words like that when you're looking to finish something on a deadline and also on LSD. Let's see, there's Bubsy, James Pond, Sparkster, Rocky Rodent, Arrow the Acrobat, Socket, Spot, Awesome Possum, and now Havoc. Data East's new character, who stars in the all-new adventure. Hi, sees Havoc. This is getting less and less comprehensible as we go on.
It's because they had more coffee.
Coffee works.
Again, it's small character because they're little guys. They're little freaks.
Man. Sorry that happened to you, or congratulations. I ain't reading that.
Oh, that's a huge wall of text.
And Takahara, which we established already, is an E-Storm variant. So it's just E-Storm again. With each level comes totally new graphics. Wow.
Amazing.
I'm sure many sequels will follow. Wrong again. Soldiers of Fortune with... Does he have something against paragraph breaks? Does that, like, cost extra or something? Did the printers charge an extra penny for every single paragraph break?
It's just part of the vibe. It's part of the maximalist, it's a stylistic choice. It's much like Wired. It feels like this is it's like if Wired was run by
there's dollar
salesmen.
signs. Pretty much, yeah. The enter button on his keyboard is broken. Yeah, that could also be the case. Mm-hmm. Or the guy he dictated it to didn't feel like doing paragraph breaks. This one seems normal. You get a much-needed password at the end of each level. In closing, can only say this is a well-put-together overall package. In fact, in this category for the Genesis, this is the best game available. Should be more hype about it then. But whatever. It's Soldiers of Fortune. Look at this guy.
I was gonna say it's got that guy.
Oh, God. Good thing to put right in the middle of your magazine page.
I gotta say, these are really impressive cutouts for the time.
This page, in terms of color palette and the choices they made, just makes my eyes glaze over instantly. I can't process any single element of this image. It just all looks the same, you know? It's like I'm looking at a bowl of gaming porridge.
Gamer stew.
Good old gamer stew. For those of you who still enjoy the old medieval hack and slash, but at the same time want some platform action and play mechanics, I don't know, that's asking a lot.
No, I don't want play mechanics.
Basic side scroll. Characters are drawn well. It was decent. Has that distinct American program feel to it. Man, I'm glad someone said so. Blades of Vengeance is one of the many Genesis games that was developed by a Western studio. I think it was European, actually. It's not a bad thing. If you like your action more in the vein of Sonic, Gunstar, Mario, etc., this may seem a bit clunky. Well, it's made by Americans, first of all, so it's got that counting against it.
It's got the American stink all over it.
Actually, I think this is Australian.
Oh.
So sorry, Australia.
Sorry. You don't smell Australian.
Fucking really? Do we have to do this? Do you have to give a whole page to Chester Cheetah's Wild Wild Quest?
I think it looks beautiful, honey. Look at him. Look at all the Chester sprites. It's so good. They did this without sprite sheets. I'm so amazed.
In this all-new adventure, you'll guide a better drawn and animated Chester, so they have opinions on the first Chester Cheetah game. This is one of those games that you have to adjust to. At first, the control may seem hopeless, but after further investigation, you'll find yourself thumping enemies and scarfing Cheetos. Found myself quite addicted. Much like addictive Cheetos. I'd have to say that most of this game's appeal is Chester himself. He is actually a very appealing character. More time was obviously taken this time around, and improvements have been made. Although perfection has not been reached, this is a pretty entertaining game.
Good job, Chester.
So better give it the royal treatment in this magazine, along with God help me, James Pond 3, Operation Starfish. Got the GameFan treatment. He's a huge star in the UK, but he smells like day-old tuna. Who is he? James Pond.
Oh. Do you think James Pond really smells?
He's a fish. He's a fish out of water. Those tend to not smell too good. A long game, and does have a password feature. However, it's way too hard to copy the thing down, something I found annoying. not too easy, requires a lot of searching and figuring out, and is totally non-violent. So, Mom, if you just won't have that Mortal Kombat in the house, then here's a safe alternative. Unless you're a vegetarian.
Ah.
So says Mr. Goo.
Who was Mr. Goo? Was that also
I think that was actually someone separate.
Okay.
So we confirm that there is at least one other person on staff writing these. Vikings. 93's best SNES carts. Especially if you like a little strategy with your action. Now makes its way to the Genesis.
Yep.
Butt cracks and nose picking abound as you trek across time and space with your newfound friends. That's true. I thought he was saying it was gonna come out on Sega CD. That would have been cool.
That would have been sick.
Yeah, just put an inflated Viking there. That's where he belongs. Just right in the middle of the page.
It's fine. All right, you furry freaks. Gather your friends around. It's time for Brutal Paws of Fury.
It's specifically the Sega CD version, too, so... Oh, my God.
Look at that big old paw, front and center.
Paws out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you try reading this. Come on, really?
Every... 4 years? Oh, that is impossible. Oh, man.
Inviting them all to his peaceful island. I'm not reading this. God, it starts to blend in with the background, too, with that horrible font.
Mm-hmm.
Can be played over the PF Magic AT&T modem. Hold on. Really? PF Magic? We're making a modem peripheral?
100 bits from the green herring. Yeah, nice font, huh?
Yeah, very readable. We thought we'd change the font here to be more of a challenge to the reader. Ad for Joe and Mac. They're really pushing that Joe and Mac. Oh, jeez, here we go. Okay.
Do you like this? Do you like this?
Sometimes they would just have a little fun and print the page sideways.
Yeah, I remember that.
For no real reason. Oh, man. And it made you look around in a clockwise motion to look at these. Okay, here's number 1, here's number 2, number 3. This is like a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
This is a review in hard mode.
Thank you for the bits.
Ground Zero Texas, Prize Fighter, Jurassic Park. Oh yeah, welcome to the all-new Sega Previews.
It's fine.
They spelled it right up here, so that's cool. Bubsy won't be back until spring '94, but we thought you'd like to see how awesome this all-new sequel is going to be. We'll have more on Bubsy 2 as it develops.
Wait,
Here's what it
that's
looks
a
like.
lot of shots of Bubsy too!
Yeah,
That's so much Bubsy, what the fuck?
there's Goofy.
That's a lot. No.
Okay, back to normal orientation.
Yeah, we're out of tape mode.
You called it tape mode.
I
God,
took that from chat, I'm sorry.
I'm ready to quit right here and
I
now.
specifically took that joke from Dark Tetsuya, so you can yell at Dark Tetsuya.
Speaking of readable text,
No.
Sim's new Mega CD RPG Vi will soon make its way to these shores, courtesy of Working Designs. I can't read that. The same people responsible for bringing Lunar. Let's see him try to make Vi seem like a good game. Vi is terrible. It was a horrible follow-up to Lunar.
I remember trying to play it because of how much it was
It was
it
so
was pumped up in specifically Diehard GameFan.
It
I
was
remember
so
hating
boring, dude. It was
Yeah.
not nearly as good as Lunar.
Because Lunar's actually got a story and personality.
I knew that sooner or later RPGs would make their way back to the US, and I must tell you, it is nice to see these games this early in the Sega CD's lifetime. Even though you just buried the thing a couple of pages back. Forget Sega CD, just buy a DSP chip. God, this game's such a turd. I should play it again. Another great RPG is on its way to the Sega CD.
Good start to a limerick. Oh, nice. Good. I would also trade Vi for Popful Mail.
That's a good trade.
Mm-hmm.
Panorama Cotton. Not like you could read that if you didn't already know what the title was. Shooters have always been welcomed with open arms in Japan, unlike America. Cotton is a cool little witch She rides a broom and possesses powerful magic.
I mean, it's true.
That's what witches do. Witches be broomin'.
They love brooms.
The best 3D Sega game to date. Oh, so far, we are the only people in the U.S. to play Cotton. You sure about that?
No, it's just them.
Just because you run in an import company, you just think you're the only people to play this? Sits at 70% complete. Well, actually, if they did do this before the thing was released, then I guess they were the first people in the West to play it. Good for you guys. Oh, that's a nice cutout.
Oh, that is not. Aww.
What the hell? Nice cutouts, good borders, white text on black background that's actually readable? What were you thinking with this one? Here's some more shots. God, this game's cool.
I love this game. Yeah, there was a paragraph break, too.
Yeah, wow. They just discovered how.
That was before the LSD kicked in.
Yeah, we're out of paragraph breaks here. Shining Force 2. You know, the one thing I have to admit to myself is that I don't like any Shining Force after Shining Force 1. Because I tried playing a lot of Shining Force CD on the Mega Drive Mini 2, and it just didn't click. I didn't like this one either, and I figured out why. It's because there's no, like, exploration sequences. You just go from battle to battle. In the first game, you were, like, going around villages and finding hidden dudes and hidden treasures and stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, anyway. I've gone off on a gamer rant here.
It's okay. It's expected.
Something about this magazine just gets me in a gamer mindset.
I was gonna say, it riles up your gamer instincts.
3 to 5 hidden characters as well, and you can have 25 to 30 people in your party. Well, there's also rats and horse people, and
I do like the rats and the horse people. That's the thing that's made me want to play the game.
Shots are in Japanese. They actually imported a copy of this. Good for them. Believe it or not, way back when, there were full-page ads for Awesome Possum kicks Dr. Machino's butt. This is a thing that actually happened. Kids saw this back then, and some of them thought, maybe this is a good game.
Were they right?
No! No, you know this.
Okay, fair.
We played this on Mascot Friday.
We've played this quite a bit, yes. I'm awesome.
That's good.
Thank you.
The only Genesis character who really talks. Is that true? That can't be true.
It's not true. Wasn't there talking in that Barney game?
Yeah. And Bubsy. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Fucking Jesus Christ. Make me do this. E-Storm's puzzle page. Import section. Phantasy Star. That would be Into the Millennium. Phantasy Star 4. Castlevania Bloodlines. You did know the name of it. You just didn't say it earlier. And Battlemania. The first shooter to get a perfect 100 in Japan. Who?
Citation needed.
Who was this forward-looking person who gave Battlemania 100 in Japan? Well, back we go.
Alright. Socket! Socket! Get your eyes on Socket!
Who's faster than a Roadrunner, got more attitude than a T-Rex, and has more juice than the Electric Company?
Socket the Time Duck, assholes!
He's got a lot of juice. What do you think? Of course it's Socket. A heck of a duck.
I love Vic Takai's copy on their American ads.
A heck of a duck.
He's of course, what do you think? Of course it's Socket, a heck of a duck. He's got the speed and he's got the attitude. When this duck comes unplugged, he's charged up for some very electric action, including a monumentous duel with his revolving arch-rival Time Dominator. Revolting ex-rival, sorry. Plug into Socket for a little PC buzz.
AC buzz.
AC buzz. And some fast times.
He's very politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
How badly do you think this ad copy guy wanted to say a fuck of a duck? Like, he probably had that up there until the very last draft, hoping to God it would make it into the magazines. Rock and roll racing.
That's a good one.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, I never really liked it, but everyone was like, this is a good game, and I'm like, okay, I'll believe
Critics are
you.
raving. What did game fans say? Graphics, music, sound control, and fun, it doesn't get any better than this. Now the best in their stable, because they're horses. I hope they don't hit my Jeep. This low effort ad pisses me off.
Oh, have you not seen this ad before? This is like a classic of shit.
It's like we had one promo still from the movie and we have to use it somehow, so might as well do this. That poorly drawn word balloon, the word art. God, this is garbage. And then the game itself is also garbage. Don't play Cliffhanger.
Yeah, don't.
Planet SNES featuring Bootleg Mario and Angry Yoshi.
Look at how angry Yoshi is. I love it.
He's pissed. He's ready to become a bucking bronco.
He's got his fists up and everything.
Anyway, something like 70, 80 pages into the magazine, here's Mega Man X.
That's fine. Don't worry about
And text that is completely unreadable. I'm squinting. I'm squinting hard for this. And it's not even saying anything interesting. It's just like there's a new Mega Man and every kid's gonna want it. This all-new 10 meg SNES version. Up here it says 12 meg. I'm pretty sure it's actually 16 meg. Oh, the text is going down the toilet in real time. Woo! Whose decision was that?
You don't like?
The pesky little bosses at the end of each level. You gotta choose the right suit at the right time. That's right, Mega Man X has a variety of suits. He doesn't just gain powers, he gains a bunch of different suits. They activated the copy protection. Yeah, Mega Man X famously had some copy protection. Oh, but look at this!
Oh, that's sick.
They could use their powers for good and make an entire collage of this whole ship.
They didn't have to flush everything down the toilet.
Oh, the text is still going. Okay. First couple may be easy, but as the game progresses, the bosses get harder. Now my controller's not working at all?
Sorry, honey.
This is a cursed stream. This is a cursed magazine. Length of this version is about the same as the others, but the desire to play again and again is much higher, as this is simply a fun and well put together game.
Oh.
Not gonna say it's everything I thought it would be, or that's the ultimate Mega Man. Street Fighter 2 ever dies down, I want to see an action game programmed by that team. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of overlap in Capcom teams, actually, but sure.
Sure.
Good SNES title's been hard to find this year, so I'll take this one, no problemo. See you soon.
I'm sorry, a lot of these reviews just seem like they want to stop writing the review.
Especially at the last couple sentences where they're just like, this game's shaping up great and I'll buy this, no problem. I'd buy that for $1. Ha ha ha, see ya, bye.
Yeah, Obscuratory. It's a very school book report way to end a review.
When you can't write a conclusion, just say, see ya. Look at this. It has all the dialogue on here. Just an entire page dedicated to Mega Man X screens. Is this Chester Cheetah again?
Don't worry about it.
Did you forget that you covered this earlier? Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
At first, the control may seem hopeless, but after further investigation, you'll find yourself thumping enemies in Scarf and Cheetos. This is the same text! What?
Honey.
Guys, did you forget that you reviewed the Chester Cheetah game? Guys. Oh, this is the SNES version? Then why? You're right, this actually is Planet SNES compared to the Genesis Outpost, so...
That's true.
I just felt the need to put two different versions of the game on two different pages. That's okay, though, because it is Chester Cheetah, too.
He's too cool.
Super Battle Tank 2, I hate these games.
You don't like mech games, or you don't like army games where it's really slow and plodding?
Yeah.
Do you like slow and plodding games that are slow and plodding?
To the credit of Gary Kitchen and his design team, the level of quality stays this high throughout the game. That's a credit to you, Gary Kitchen.
Good job, Gary.
They should have called it the Book of Genesis. That's something they would have done. Oh, this isn't an E-Storm review, which is why it's so normal. Neither action or simulation fans will be disappointed. Fatal Fury 2, this is the official logo, believe it or not.
Looks good.
As featured on Neo Geo. bringing specialists in. Oh, okay. Are they specialists? I thought the first few Takara ports were pretty bad. Like Super Nintendo Fatal Fury. Well, whatever. Takara's getting really good with these Neo Geo conversions. I can't wait to see their next. Uh-oh, the Inquirer wants to go another few rounds, and he's got that "I'm gonna double redizzy you, son" look in his eyes. Oh yeah, LTB, baby. Kaylee. If anyone knows what LTB means, please write in.
Looking to...
Beat that ass.
Yeah, beat that ass.
This is an okay looking port. Too bad Fatal Fury Special.
Learn to block.
Oh, okay. That actually is a fighting game thing.
Learn to fly, lettuce, tomato, bacon, love to buck. Yeah, it all sounds right. No!
The moment I saw Lawnmower Man, the movie, I knew that the games were on the way. That was my thought going out of the theater, too. I was like, ah yes, the games are on the way. Yeah. Game progresses, shooting comes into play. This is a pretty creative layout. It's got the hands on the side.
Oh, I love that, yeah. Like the game.
A movie sequel is in the works, and you know what that means? Takahara.
It does mean Takahara.
Mm-hmm. We all know what that means. Were you required by law to use all the fonts that you had in your font package? And to stretch them out as far as they could go?
It looks fine!
It does not look I'm not reading this. You can't make me. Anyway, it's not an E-Storm review, so it's not going to be any funny. Look forward to a great challenge. I will. Here we have Lester.
There's fucking Lester. Sorry. I need to get some enthusiasm for him. It's
Hey,
Lester.
Alex. What
Yeah.
we didn't tell you last month is that Lester does something very few video game characters have ever done. He grows in confidence and strength as you progress through the game.
I still hate him. Sorry.
I think Mario should do that. I think he should experience tragedy and reflect on it.
Damn. What tragedy?
I don't know. Toad dies by his hand.
It's Lufia.
It's Lufia for Super
Sorry,
Nintendo.
we're moving away from Toad. It's Lufia time.
Your girlfriend, or girl in tow, Lufia, travels by your side. Take that, Lufia.
I guess.
Challenge to entry-level and veteran RPG players alike. Okay, this ad I love. So Clay Fighter did a series of ads taking on popular fighting games of the time. What fighting game do you think they're lampooning in this one?
Okay, I'm thinking it's gonna be either Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat.
That would be the smart play, right? Because those are the big popular ones. Nope. They are bravely taking on World Heroes by SNK. Everybody was aiming to take down World Heroes. Here you can see Jan and, what's his name, Hanzo or something in there. There's Bold Mr. Taffy taking down the World Heroes crew. Take that, 80K fighting game.
Everyone was having World Heroes fever back in the day.
We're the world's real heroes when there's a battle to be won. Whacking, punching, crushing, and flying their way through a laugh-a-minute circus. That's how I describe Clay Fighter.
Danny, no you wouldn't. You fucking hate Clay
I
Fighter.
fucking hate Clay Fighter. Who is Zippy? Are you just making up people now?
I'm Zippy.
You're Zippy?
No.
What did you think of Pack Attack?
Pack Attack is one I will play for a long time. They misspelled the long.
Oh my god, you're right, it's Zippy from Rainbow. They should have never let him be a game reviewer. Pack Attack contests. Super Star Wars. Man, remember Star Wars?
No. Is it back?
No.
Okay.
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ, I have to fucking do this every time. Just a few of the games coming out for Super Nintendo. Artie Lightfoot, Alien Enforcers. Genocide 2 from Kimco.
Genocide 2!
If you're familiar with G2, then you have to be excited for this awesome title.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dons a massive cyber suit. He dons it at the break of day. He puts on the massive cyber suit. Yeah, we're approaching the back pages in the magazine, and soon there's going to be a whole lot of sports pages to fucking...
It's fine.
E-Storm's import update. Let's look at some of the hottest holiday releases for the Super Famicom. Dragon Ball Z2. Continuing saga of the mega hit. That's how I would describe Dragon Ball. We got some romancing saga. We got Rock Man Soccer. Zoku. Excelibrid. That's actually not misspelled. That's one of the few titles that's spelled correctly. Should break new ground in the genre.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either. Time to turn the magazine again. Back in the day, you'd just be like twisting this magazine all over the place, turning it upside down and sideways. Now here's a great series of ads coming up here as a nice break. Oh wait, we're sideways again.
Yeah, I gotta go back. There you go.
What could this be? Oh fuck, it's Secret of Mana.
This was a sick ad. This was a really sick ad back
These
in the
two
day.
were a two-page spread, and oh my god, this made an impression.
It really did. It looked so
Just
good.
the sick-ass art of the tree. Not many words. The words you could actually read, God forbid. And then some tasteful ad text at the end. You were supposed to play this game on an extremely old TV.
Oh, good.
If you didn't get the full experience. Yeah, I love this art. It's so detailed.
It's so good.
Well, back to the magazine.
Battle Master.
The fuck is Battle Master?
It's Toshiba's first fighting game.
This is a Super Nintendo game? Who's heard of this? Do quarter-turn kick moves. Something that anyone who decides to release this game here will find out. Did this come out?
It's a
Okay,
Japan
this
exclusive.
did actually come out. I just have never heard of it. Even GameFan didn't like it, though. Beneath that, we have Sword Maniac.
Sword Maniac.
A great title. Unfortunately, this got released over here as Excalibur 2097.
Oh, that's a terrible name. I thought it was... I thought Excalibur 2097 was based off a comic book, so I never played it.
No, it was based off Sword Maniac.
Well, shit, if it was called Sword Maniac, I would have played it.
If you're looking for a good action game with a distinct import feel, then Sword Maniac is worth a look. I love that import feel. Here we have The Illusion of Gia, a new action RPG so good that even Link himself might need to worry a little bit.
They misspelled his Gia throughout the whole
The
thing.
play mechanics in Gia are very reminiscent of Soul Blazer. Gia is an excellent overall package. The music in Gia is also awesome. So for 93, Enix has ActRaiser 2, 7th Rune, and Gia. 7th Rune. That's 7th Saga, guys. And also, it's not called Illusion of Gia. Was this like a prototype name that they just ran with? I know it was called Illusion of Time at some point, but I don't know how they would piece together this sprite art if that wasn't how it actually was in the game.
Yeah, what the hell?
So maybe it actually was. Who even knows with these guys? Here's a game I want to stream. This game has a completely unhinged story. Oh, there's more text. Hang on. Gia will be coming here in 94. It should simply be called Soul Blazer 2, but no final name has been decided on. Should have just been Soul Blazer 2.
Should have just been Soul Blazer 2. It's Evolution of Gia. It should have been Evolution of Gia. Hey, Ninja Warriors!
I like this game, but here's what I don't like. Rotating the damn magazine. Arcades, Sega CD. Taito taking a whole new approach. This is the Ninja Warriors again, in case you can't tell. Graphics, the sequel, are pure arcade quality, and the music is awesome, but probably the coolest feature is that you can slow down the action with the L button, or speed it up with R.
Can you?
As far as I know, this is the first game with built-in slow and fast motion. Dumbass, that's a debug feature! God, come on. That's not gonna be in the final game. That was so you could take screenshots. Oh, man.
That's good. That's so good. I love this magazine.
If only they shipped it with the speed up and slow down feature. That would have been cool.
First game you can do it.
Well, this is really unreadable. Oh, wait. Here we go.
There we go.
Whether you'll be playing Super R-Type 3 in 94 is still up in the air. Even though shooters have died in the US, I think once in a while a company can can be justified in taking a gamble. This guy wrote so many articles for this one issue. I'm starting to feel sorry for him. I'm starting to feel like maybe you do deserve a little LSD as a treat.
A little treat.
Mm-hmm. Ranma Nimbunoichi, also known as Ranma 1/2.
Oh yeah, is that the Ranma RPG?
All you Ranma fans out there will cry for this new RPG from Toho of Japan.
I sure did.
Did you cry?
I cried out for it. I wanted this RPG.
It's a good, solid RPG with that dose of fun only Ranma can provide. What a mysterious thing to say. Time slip. That's funny. It's always great to see these ads for these completely terrible games that no one remembers. Time slip is okay.
Vic Tokai joint.
Fucking Vic Tokai. They were big advertisers for GameFan, I guess. Yeah, it should be.
In what you humanoids call the time continuum will allow time out to...
Yeah, I'm already bored with this premise.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been You Are Time Will Come. Time for mortal. Some real combat. Time for some real mortal combat. Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, cause war. War is the real Mortal Kombat, and that's true.
Try fighting like the big boys do. Forearm jabs, roundhouses? Come on, forget the kid stuff. Shoot a guy in a tank. Oh, here we go. Every single issue would have so many pages dedicated to sports, and this was the big sports spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to tell you we're going to be skipping the entire thing.
Oh, thank you so much. I was going to say,
because none of it is written by E-Storm, and it's all very basic coverage. But
It's
at the
all
time,
normal.
this would have been pretty valuable.
I also skip this section every month.
Look at
Sorry,
all this
Taco.
text. Jeez. Jesus. How much can you say about football? Some guys run down a field and then fall down. There, I did it in like 5 words. Saved you a click. Soccer, you just kick a ball and then you fall down. That's all. That's a game.
Can you read that?
EA Sports has done what no one else has. FIFA International Soccer is one cart, worthy of being called football.
Dr. E.
Then why didn't they just call it football?
Don't worry about it.
Tony Miola's sidekick soccer. Who's Tony Miola? Is he here in chat right now?
Tony, you here?
Chat,
Showed
speak up. What were you thinking when you did this ad for Electro Brain?
He was thinking, ooh.
Madden 94! Oh shit, it's Football Friday!
Football Friday! Football Friday!
Welcome
Uh-huh.
to the NFL. I whomped it 172-78 the first game I played. Of course, my near-human opponent, Talco, wasn't much competition either.
Mm-hmm.
Corrupt? Oh, hands down the best, yeah.
Okay.
That was gonna be my second choice.
That's good, too.
Greatest heavyweights. This is actually a really good game. I'm surprised they stuck it here in the sports section. You can make a dude who's like blue.
Oh, that's cool.
You could also make green skin characters. You could have him fight Muhammad Ali. What a fun game this is.
Really?
Yeah. This had all the heavyweights of the past. But also blue guys.
I want to make a blue guy die to Muhammad Ali.
Maybe you should play that game.
Muhammad Ali meets an alien and punches him to death.
God, just from
You like that?
It's just the fact they take up the whole page from gutter to gutter. Just fill up the entire horizontal space. Jesus Christ. It's like a website I designed 20 years ago. This is a nice screenshot to feature.
Oh, very nice.
Very tasteful.
College Station, get out of here!
Oh, here's the Sega CD Joe Montana football. Did they say this was a piece of shit? Have fun trying to tell. Good God, I can't even...
Yeah, I was trying to read it.
I can't even... The pictures don't lie in the fact that the 3D environment is well done, if a little on the slow side. The football itself resembles a brown speckled egg as it hurtles through the air. Poetic almost. My main complaint with is because some logic design, namely example play of voice.
Welcome, Uzi. Can you read this?
We need a dedicated reader for this. Hey, Uzi. In the game is accessed directly from the CD, which means that there is no voice during gameplay, only during the play calling screen. This is really moot, since the voice causes the game to crash. Only if you own a Sega CD too. I remember that, yeah. They shipped it with a major bug that caused it to crash on the majority of Sega CD units.
Oh, that's not good.
And Sega's solution was just turn off the play calling feature, no commentary. Then the game won't crash.
Jesus Christ.
I'd have put that in the first sentence if it was me. Don't buy this, it'll crash on your system. But, well, what can you do? I really enjoy playing Montana CD. I'm not so sure it's worth $60, and I, as a general rule, prefer playing the other games mentioned above. As a general rule, I like playing other games.
I mean, I do too.
What an introduction to CD hockey. Holy moly, I am there.
Taco loves his digitized stick.
This guy loves sports. He can't get enough sports. There's a lot of people like him, too.
What about you?
Are
you in the coach's corner?
I'm sports agnostic.
Okay.
I want to believe. They got freaking golf in here. Got freaking boxing again. Look at the graphics in this game. Have you ever seen how this game looks?
Oh my god. That looks like the Amiga.
This game is sick looking. So he's some kind of European drawn anime guy.
He is, yes! Code Lyoko boxing.
Does anyone remember Buster Douglas and the Sega Curse? We do. We're pulling for you, Extreme. Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah.
Good graphics. 2-page spread of Tecmo Super Bowl.
Okay, fair enough.
Lacks the simulation qualities of Madden. Well, Madden can stuff it. You ever think of that? Capcom's MVP football. Did anyone play this at all? I don't think they did.
Yeah, a lot of football games. A lot of football games.
Everyone wanted to make a football game, just like everyone wanted to make a fighting game. Whoa, Nelly, are you ready for some football?
The thing that everyone says.
Whoa, Nelly, big juicy footballs.
Annie!
DSP Tennis, not familiar with this one. It looks pretty cool. Final Set. Final Set Tennis, okay. Man, I am really not familiar with sports games. I can't tell you if any of these actually got released.
Chalk up, dude! Chalk up, dude! I remember that ad! I remember that ad!
That's viscerally unpleasant.
You don't want to chalk up your finger?
I don't want to stick my finger inside a freaking chalk thing. The chalk cube. Back to the cube.
It's the best rack in town!
Hey, I've seen some pretty good racks.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Oh, was this the unreleased version we played a while back for Super Nintendo? I think it may be. This could also just be the Genesis one, which was released and is therefore uninteresting. Big juicy billiards. Incredible interception. Too bad his foot was out of bounds. Mutant League Football. That's a good face.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about, like the...
See?
Yeah, you're right. You would just see a disembodied, gory arm. Okay.
That wasn't the influence of LSD.
It wasn't LSD. It's real. Okay.
I was telling the truth. Sports Talk Baseball. It's worth a look. Why not just make that the whole review? Madden 3DO. Anxiously awaiting new software for your 3DO. I'm anxious, alright. Play in progress. Talking baseball with Sega Sports.
Getting our face kicked with the activator.
To be or not to be, kicked in the face. I choose not to be. Link's kicks. Their butts. Link's has a 3.5-inch screen, but Game Gear has a 3.2-inch screen. Checkmate, Game Gear. Game Boy has 2 colors.
Game Gear only has an 8-bit engine.
Link's has molded rubber hand grips, but Sega has, Game Boy has plastic. Game Boy only allows up to 4.
Left-hand play, but Game Boy and Game Gear do not.
Nintendo and Sega are telling you lefties to shove it.
Shh.
What'd you think about that?
I think it's bullshit. Here we are!
Okay.
Here we are! The Jaguar's domain, baby!
At last we come to the main event. This is the best remembered feature from this magazine, and it's shoved all the way in the back, so you have to go through the whole magazine just to get to this. But here we are. GameFan, the world's biggest fans of the Atari Jaguar at this point, present their honest first opinions of the Jaguar's first software games. Software games. Trevor McFerrin, the Crescent Galaxy. Atari Jaguar is ready to roll. There's an eyeball here. As the first 4 games, Cybermorph, Raiden, Dino Dudes, and the game you see here, Crescent Galaxy. I'd like to start off by saying that none of these games can be used to rate the incredible Jaguar hardware, as they were most likely started long ago when the Panther was still being considered. That was the 32-bit predecessor to the Jaguar. What they do show is the fantastic color and rendered graphics that you'll be looking at in the years to come. Crescent Galaxy is very reminiscent of Gates of Zendikon, one of the first Lynx titles. Nobody has ever made a comparison, strong comparison to Gates of Zendikon. The only downfall of this title are the backgrounds. That's the only downfall. They're stunning visually, but lack parallax scrolling. The enemies in Crescent Galaxy, however, are awesome. Everything is rendered in ultra high res and rotates fast. Is there a single instance of rotation in this game? I'm trying to think. I played through the whole thing very recently. Were they just imagining that?
Well, again, coffee.
The screen can become filled with these beauties, and there is not a trace of slowdown or flicker, and the bosses are intense. The power-ups are so cool, especially the shield, which encases you in a green emerald.
It does.
The version we reviewed didn't yet have music. The final game didn't have music either. So I can't comment on that. But if Cybermorph, see and read the awesome review on the next page is of any example of the sound chip, I'd say it should be excellent. Overall, as an example of what is to come, Crescent Galaxy hits the mark, but as a standalone shooter, I'm sure that better will come for the Jag very soon. Hey, it's a start. That's how you say this game.
Start?
That's how you say this game sucks big time in editor language. Hey, it's a start. It's not really representative of the Jaguar. I mean, they released it and expected people to pay money for it, but it's not representative of the hardware or nothing. I mean, it's a start, right? It's better than nothing.
God, I'm sorry. I love them really, really trying to...
They're trying so hard, dude.
Yeah. They're such Jaguar boosters.
Being like, oh, we really didn't like this, and we owe it to our customer base to tell them the truth, but also, Atari gave us the exclusive on this, so, it's a start. Alex, it's time.
Are we doing the Cybermorph? Oh, Danny's taking a drink of water. You know it's time. Folks.
So we're currently on, which page is this? 160-something looks like. 160-something pages, which were probably written linearly, mostly by, as I mentioned, one guy, E-Storm. E-Storm. There's Learn to Fly. E-Storm did this one himself. He took the reins. He wanted people to know, I love Cybermorph. I want to tell everyone all about it. He was one of the first people to play it, and he had a lot of coffee that day, let's say. A lot of coffee. And he wrote this review at the very last minute, probably after like 48 hours of no sleep, powered by coffee. It's Cybermorph. Jesus Christ, there she is. After braving the stormy skies of New York City, Kid Fan emerged with the first Atari Jaguar awarded to a game publication. After ripping open the FedEx box, we all gathered around the first 64-bit game system and plunked in Cybermorph. I got to play. Is that a complete thought, though?
Yes, someone.
24 hours later, long after everyone else except for my trusty Quadra operator had left, I emerged, totally fulfilled. with the strange feeling that after playing video games for 9 years, I had just played the first real one. Dynamite start to the review. Fuck all other video games. Don't even consider those. This is the first real one, quote unquote. No longer am I tied down to going from point A to point B. I could go anywhere, anytime, and interact with crafts and characters all over each of 50 planets for as long as I wanted. After rescuing my allotment of pods, I can survey the world, taking out remaining enemies, playing with different viewpoints, and examining structures. Each level is a different type of rescue mission, requiring a completely new strategy than the last. Some moons are totally hostile, while others require intense exploration and passive gameplay. Just put the controller down for those. I played for 3 hours to complete the first 8 moons, then surprisingly met a boss on the 9th. I didn't know there were bosses. This is like the only guy to ever play long enough to get to a boss.
24 hours of Cybermorph.
At that point, I'm used to 16-bit games. I figured it was over. But I was wrong. 8 more appeared that required massive study to conquer. Then after another 12 hours of engulfing gameplay for a total of 36 hours, I reached the end once again, fought 2 huge gunships, and figured for sure that was it. Again, I was wrong. 8 more planets appeared that I still, 2 days later, am studying. There's a lot of study and strategizing going on in Cybermorph.
Do you remember examining the structures in Cybermorph? Were there structures to study?
I think they were just like single polygon faces of buildings. I don't think they even had windows. It turns out that there are 50 planets, making this game one that doesn't even nick the hardware, the longest I have ever played. All 3D, all rendering on the fly, filled with vivid, brilliant colors and detailed polygon enemies that seem aware of my presence. That's never been done in a game before. I am thrilled with this game. So, wait, there's like filler text. His job is to guard this pod. Yours is to take it. Okay, back to the review. So now, for me, the face of gaming has totally changed. Now, I must imagine games like this that make use of the JAG's full potential, texture mapped, rendering on the fly. RPGs are now possible. Games with huge worlds to explore on the horizon. Action, shooting, role-playing, adventure. The JAG will have it all. No putt-putts, no bird's life.
What?!
Just solid, inventive 64-bit games from programmers with imagination. This game was made by ATD. Who's ATD?
I didn't know that he directly shitted on fucking 1 Pound Dog in this review.
Take that, Shelley Duvall.
Wow!
Who's ATD? Whoever they are, they sure know how to make games. They got inside my head, and that's what it's all about. Will everyone who plays Cybermorph feel as I do? Probably not. There are those, I've already met some, who will turn it on, fly into a planet, think they're just playing another shooter, die for sure, and exclaim, "This is 64-bit?" To those boneheads, I must say, you have to look deeper than that. The serene valleys of Rossum can be both surreal or deadly. That's a question?
It is?
I must say you have to look deeper than that. This is the first game! To those boneheads who don't like Cybermorph, I must say you have to look deeper than that. This is the first game. It was probably started before the 64-bit processor housed inside was even invented. It was just a twinkle in its daddy's eye. Look at the creativity, the sound, the intelligence. Cybermorph has great music in the intro, but the game itself whispers only the surreal sounds of each planet. The sounds of the approaching missiles, the rumbling of approaching transport vehicles, the hum of your thrusters. That's all you hear, and rightfully so. Music would only interfere. In closing, I can only say that with the Jaguar, Atari has won our support. The new machine is made here. The new machine is made here is the highest quality I have seen so far and looks fantastic. Support? They will have it, because we will all own this system. At least most of our readers will. And you guys alone can spell success for a new system. Atari is back. Come pet the cat.
That is the most LSD-ass review of Cyber. How many pages was that? Like, he had so little text on each page.
Dude, it's just... Holy fuck, it's... Okay, here's...
Yeah, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mm-hmm.
6,
Mm-hmm.
7.
Seven with
An
its
extended
big,
seventh
beautiful-
page with its big full-page illustration by Terry Wolfinger. And that's gaming. That is gaming in 1993. A bunch of dudes furiously working against an impossible deadline, off their heads on LSD from the coffee pot, convinced that Cybermorph is the best game ever made.
It's the first game. It's
Atari
the
is
first
back.
Real game.
Come pet the cat. Yeah, let's get that exact quote so it's not like I'm paraphrasing here.
Okay.
With the strange feeling that after playing video games for 9 years, I had just played the first quote-unquote real one. All the other games before this point were just fakes. Y'all were delusioned by these games that were just inferior products. You weren't used to full 64-bit immersion, where you can go anywhere at any time, look at any structure. You could hear the hums of the transport vehicles. They don't make things like this anymore. Video game magazines have long been a dead art. I don't think this is why. I think this is awesome.
No, this is wonderful.
This is just some guy telling the absolute God's honest truth what he felt about this video game that he got to play exclusively while on the extended effects of LSD. The violent lakes of Umitri will tax your flying skills. Sneak in quietly or dive in blasting, time is of the essence. Fuck, I want to play Cybermorph.
Danny, you know it's not that good. You know this is just drug-induced lying.
The thing is now, everyone can play Cybermorph. It's on the Atari 50th Anniversary Collection. It actually emulated a few Jaguar games. And for many years, people were convinced that this review was for real, that this was one of the best games ever made. It's just you wouldn't know because you didn't have a Jaguar. And it's not emulated, so you couldn't know. But we know.
We know.
And now everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
You know what to think of Cybermorph. It is indeed the first real game.
He's back!
He's back!
Who is that?
It's the guy from Splatterhouse.
Oh, Splatterhouse. Oh, yeah.
He got some nice jeans.
Oh, those are really. What the hell? Why are those so nice? Whoever rendered those jeans? What the hell?
That's what I think of when I think of Diehard GameFan. Just a complete, unhinged 8-page review of Cybermorph. Not based in any kind of reality. Just, Alex,
Yeah?
zooming right past It's a Bird's Life, like you're gonna let a 4-year-old play with your new $700 system and putt-putts, whatever this thing is.
They hate putt-putt. They hate A Bird's Life so much.
They sure do. Holy crap.
Fuck them. I love A Bird's Life. You take it back, E-Storm.
Remember, there's no approval process or quality control of any kind in place for this machine.
Wow, someone is all on the Atari Jaguar train, aren't they?
This is not a real game. It has real people in it, but it's not a real game.
No, it's fake.
If you hit the target, the guy dies as he always dies, and if you miss, you get the end scene with the coroner. He's always there, and he's always the same. There's a sexy shot of the prospector right there for some reason.
Prospector shot.
In the Ultimate Gun game, he would always change depending on where and how you got shot. Seems you're missing an ear there, partner. Now we're just fantasizing about the games we want to play. I want a Western game where they can shoot my ear off, and the mortuary guy can comment on it.
Like, damn, missing an ear.
Damn, partner. It's everything else in this magazine seems so ordinary after that review. It's just like, oh, back to normal video games. But we can't go back. We've now seen the first real one.
Welcome to the real world.
Does Road Rash look like this? Did they capture this on an... like through an RF unit?
They captured it on a toaster.
Underwater?
Mm-hmm.
Monster Manor looks pretty good. Yeah, why are you looking at this baby garbage? Jim Power? More like Jim Fake Game.
Oh, it looks so shitty. I love it. I love Electro Brain.
I didn't know they did a 3D logo.
Oh, that's sick.
This is the regular Electro Brain logo. This is your brain on 3D. Now near the back of the magazine where you see import previews for things like a PC Engine fighter called Flash Hivers? Hiders?
Hivers.
That's not readable.
I can't read that at all. maybe dead.
I can't. I just
no,
can't.
I actually can't.
Flash hiders. Okay. Yeah, there's text there. It's hiding. Much like the flash hiders. Wow, there's more camouflage text. Hope they didn't expect anybody to read that. Oh yeah, and by the way, Dracula X.
Don't worry about it.
The...
It's not Cybermorph, but you know.
Yeah, this is just one of the greatest action games of all time. Don't worry about it. Cybermorph. This isn't a real game. CD gaming at its best. Game starts with a cool animated intro. And after entering your name, it's off to stage 0, where again you will be challenged by the Prince of Darkness, Nosferatu, Dracula, except you fight death in stage 0.
Don't worry about it.
It's challenging, reminiscent of those great old NES games. You don't just walk through the levels, you study patterns, experiment with different weapons, search for secret paths. If you own a Duo, who cares if there's no American games? You've got imports to buy from our store. Yeah, a lot of their import coverage seemed kind of self-serving, like they were just directing you to their store. Amiga CD32.
What?
What did they think about the Amiga CD32?
Well, I mean, it's no Atari Jaguar.
Contra Code, thank you for the raid.
Oh,
Welcome, everybody.
You.
We're reading this old-ass issue of Diehard GameFan magazine from 1993. Welcome aboard. This magazine's kind of infamous because there was LSD in the coffee pot on the day that it was written. Literally.
Yeah,
so that's why they
yeah.
thought Cybermorph for Atari Jaguar was the best game ever made. In fact, they called it the first real game, so all these other games in the magazine are fake. Welcome aboard. What were y'all doing? We're seeing what they think of the Amiga CD32, which I'm amazed they even knew what it was. The first batch of games have much to be desired, however. This is just the beginning.
We got James Pond and codename Robocon.
I mean, if the first game you have to show is James Pond Robocod, that's not a great sign. Saint Aspartame, thank you for the 22 months.
Yeah, enjoy your coffee.
Yeah, we're all having a good cup of coffee today. At least the first title, James Pond 2. Why? I'm still asking that question about James Pond 2 Robocod. Why?
Why?
The game itself is totally unimpressive. Thinking about getting one. Hold on to your dough and see if things get better. We'll let you know as soon as something good comes out. Wow.
Unlike the Atari Jaguar.
They just strangled and buried the poor Amiga CD32. An ad for the terrible Super Nintendo Alien vs. Predator game. Not the arcade Alien vs. Predator. Don't make the mistake I did back then.
Oh. Pyramid Patrol! Everyone, pump your brakes. You got Pyramid Patrol.
They're actually talking about laser active games. This is a system that played laser discs, and it had modules that let you play Sega Genesis and TurboGrafx games. And here they are, giving it some press. Well, if you do the math, the Mega CD will cost you $229, and Mega Drive is $90. PC Engine Duo is $399. A Laserdisc player will run you $900, and altogether that's $1,519 and $93. So if you pay a little bit more, you can get a Laser Active for $1,900. Alex, I'm not paying $1,900 for no Laser Active.
But Pyramid Patrol.
I guess. The shooter that they have placed on the background is a real dog. El Chipola sound effects from the deepest depths of the Z80 sound chip. Wow.
Ooh.
Laser Active's kind of a joke. Here's some other words that are vaguely readable. Wow. Poor Laser Active. Imagine if the Laser Active people got to him and gave him the exclusive first look at the system like Atari did with the Jaguar.
Mm-hmm.
Would we all be playing the Laser Active right now? Freaking
My eyes do that. That's like that meme.
This is when I wake up every day.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed.
The graveyard.
Weirdly enough, GameFan was one of the first, if not only, magazines from back then that actually covered old games. Yeah, you liking this red text on a red background? The whole magazine's like that. Now, it's cool that they covered old games that maybe didn't get a lot of exposure back then, but might be cool if we could actually read the words you were saying about them. It's a start. I can read some of these words. it looks like the words are sinking into lava.
Good old Mr. Goo.
You just may stop a diabolical computer from taking over the world. That's the only bit I'm going to read from that. We're approaching the end of this magazine. Here we are with the schedule.
Can you read it?
Wow. That's a challenge. Battletoads DD. I can read some of these words.
It's... Hey, subscribe! Now it's easy, just call!
Whoa.
That's sick.
That's some intense art for Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this guy?
I don't know! Chad, who is he? Is that Magneto?
I hope so. Oh, the Super Nintendo version of Captain America and the Avengers.
That's Iron Man? No.
This is a shit port of this game. What a horrible version of this game it is. That's Batman. Oh, okay. We got quarter crunchers. Look at this art.
Oh my god. Beautiful.
For those of you just joining us, a recurring character was the Postmeister, a disgruntled postal worker who liked video games.
Because it's the 90s.
It was a thing. Particularly impressive were Mortal Kombat 2 Wolfenstein VR. What?
What? Wait.
Was this just another LSD fantasy?
No,
I've never heard of this. Sega had Virtual Fighters. But look out for Atlus's Power Instinct.
I want to know more about Wolfenstein VR.
Yeah, what the hell? MK2 looking good.
It hurts so good. They had to come back for seconds.
That horrible arcade Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Keep your fingers crossed for US release. I hope not. Power Instinct has a great comical element and perfect 4-button control. Meanwhile, Ridge Racer, put that on page 200. It's fine. It's a driving game, whatever. Now, Cyber Sled. That's a game to look forward to. It's 3D one-on-one, and it's awesome. SF2 meets Battlezone.
Oh, you actually play the BBC game in a Dave and Buster's? That's amazing.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Huh. Sega's Virtua Fighters. Never heard of it. Better put it on page 201.
It's not as good as Cybermorph, I tell you that.
Hopefully, more precise moves will be added in the future. The least precise fighting game on the planet, Virtua Fighter. Oh, yeah. Alien 3 The Gun. That's a cool game. The graphics rip, but it's just another gun game. Metamorphic Force! Oh, fuck yeah! Hang on. Hold on. Hold up.
Hold on, folks.
There we go.
Oh, that's what that guy's from. Okay.
Yeah, it's from Metamorphic Force. Night Slashers, Violent Storm. Good year for beat-em-ups. Holy shit. Y'all ever see the theater-sized Galaxian 3?
I haven't seen it in person, but I've heard of it.
This could fit up to 16 people, and you could all play the game at the same time. It's huge.
I wanted to play it so bad.
I did too. I've never seen it. Instant Party just had bombs. It's Bomberman.
I love that American Bomberman.
We got portables. Who the fuck are you? Who are you?
They're portables guy. Don't you like him?
No.
What if that's me?
He's just a...
Do you not like me? He looks like the user-friendly guy, doesn't he? But, like, better drawn.
God.
Sorry.
Oh, that was only the 6-player version of Galaxian 3? Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. They made 2 separate ones of that. Road Rash on the Game Gear, I guess, is pretty good. You got Roadrunner game.
We all love Roadrunner.
God, even the editors are running out of gas at this point. Yeah, I don't know. Roadrunner on the small screen might be good.
You want some Zool? He's back! Look at him! There's that little freak in the corner! That's me!
I dislike him.
He's got fingerless gloves, he's got Chucks on, it's me! It's me! Except for the fingerless gloves, I don't wear those.
That would be cool, though.
I actually wear Vans, not Chucks, but it's not me.
Pink Goes to Hollywood. That
Right.
game sucks.
Oh, you don't like Pink Goes to Hollywood?
So many horrible games advertised in this issue. Fruit? Fun fruit. Deep Duck Trouble.
We got Deep Duck Trouble.
You really gonna abbreviate it as DDT? You really gonna do that?
That's fine. I heard DDT is good for ducks.
Yeah. One of Sega's best. Pac-Man's got the munchies. Actually, he looks pissed off.
There are apologies in Domark.
Don't apologize to Domark. Never apologize to Domark. There's nothing to apologize for. Coming soon. Please look forward to a Culture Brain fighting game. That's gonna be good. Total Carnage. Great game. Not great on the Super Nintendo. Luckily, it's also coming to Genesis and Sega CD.
Japan now!
Can't we Japan later?
Can you read Japan now?
I can read some of it.
I see CD-ROMs.
Anyone want to
SF2.
transcribe this? Anyone want to put this in a plain text document? I can't read this. I can only read a few words at a time before the word blob just takes over. Something about an arcade card. Strider, can you believe it? Oh yeah, that fucked up PC Engine version of Strider. I remember that. Here's an interview with Yuzo Koshiro.
What?
Just out of nowhere.
Just the
Page 270, whatever. Here's an interview with
Yuzo
Yuzo Koshiro. He's talking about the Streets of Rage soundtracks that he did. Oh, at this point, he was working on Eye of the Beholder for Sega CD.
What the hell? Yuzo Koshiro is just hanging out. No, I'm pretty sure no coffee was handed over to Koshiro.
God, I hope not. That would explain the soundtrack to Streets of Rage 3.
Ooh.
And before someone else says someone else did Streets of Rage 3's music. I know. Oh, he is talking about the music in Streets of Rage 3. This type of music is not really well known or well liked. How do you come up with ideas and images for your music? Like when you're walking or taking a shower? Can I take a shower with you? Not really. Usually I'll listen to music from other games.
Yeah, line breaks.
Some of these questions are pretty strangely phrased. And yeah, there's line breaks. How about arcade music? If anyone asked me, I think it's impossible to listen to the music at the arcade. Wow. How bold. He's probably right. They did it at his studio. Wow. Okay, if anyone wants to read through this old issue for some insight into how Yuzo Koshiro composed for games, there's some good stuff in here.
It's interesting.
You have to get past the literal 9-page review of Cybermorph, though. Most Wanted in Japan, look at this. At this point in time, #1 was Romancing Saga 2. They had a pair of Dragon Quests coming out. Good time for Super Famicom. The Night of Kamaitachi. Let's go. Some Western coverage of Kamaitachi no Yoru, the famous sound novel that no one ever knows about. Amp of Nobunaga.
Amp?
What? Amp of Nobunaga, quote, legend of, quote, how, unquote. You left a lingering quote. The whole rest of the issue is going to be in a quote now. #1 most anticipated for Mega Drive was Phantasy Star 4. And of course, Virtual Racing. Got Popful Mail there. Dreamhouse, let's fucking go. That is a literal transliteration of the Japanese title of Mansion of Hidden Souls.
Yes, yes.
See, I've been verified. What's the word? Vilified? Whatever.
Vindicated.
Vindicated, that's it.
Vilified is not what you were thinking of.
I've been vilified and vindicated. People actually do like and know about Mansion of Hidden Souls. It's true. You're on PC Engine, they're all about that ease. Far East of Eden 3 coming out. Watch out for Dragon Knight 3 and don't stream it, whatever you do. Torneko no Daiboken was #1. That's that Dragon Quest roguelike spinoff.
Oh, yeah.
People liking their Mystic Quest, their Mario and Wario. What are the Mega Drive owners like? These games suck. What's wrong with you? Actually, Sonic CD and Gunstar Heroes are okay.
You got Mahjong Clinic Special. That sounds horny.
What system is this? Is this, I guess this was PC Engine, but none of these sound
Mahjong
familiar
on the
to
beach.
Mahjong on the beach.
Mahjong on the beach.
You'll get your tiles all sandy. Well, that's it for this month. You've got a lot to think about with all these new systems being released. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas with Special K.
Well, technically, never mind.
Everybody load up on Special K. Put it in your coffee. Mix it up. Have a good old time with Diehard GameFan. And here's the back of the issue, which is just endless ads for rival importers. Yeah, this is their actual storehouse, the Diehard GameFan Mega Store. Look at these prices. Super Famicom games for $99.99, and you know if they say call, it's going to be more than $100.
Yeah, it's gonna be, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine paying call amount of money for a Dragon Ball Z fighting game on Super Famicom?
Especially after they've been like, this game is so good, you gotta get it.
I got a call for Poppin' Land on Mega Drive, whatever that is. All this is too expensive. I'll take that Dracula X for $89.99 though. Go ahead and add that to my cart. Crescent Galaxy call, Cybermorph call, Tiny Toons call. Basically just call us for all of our...
They misspelled Tiny Toons.
They sure did.
Oh, I love it.
Call them up for all the Jaguar games you can eat. Oh, here we go. They also sold memorabilia and merchandise. Check out these fucking Street Fighter dolls. Look at these guys.
Look at their face.
Why does Sagat have a kitty face? He's making the colon 3. You got these little figures, which are a little bit better looking, though Ryu is kind of strangely proportioned.
Don't worry about it. I love them.
Look at them. They're all dressed up.
They are so cute.
Ooh, a Ryu posable doll. Can it do anything I want? How big is it? How big we talking? Street Fighter 2 pewters. Dragon Ball Z Wall Scrolls.
1999 classic.
How are you gonna get Wall Scrolls way the hell back in 1993 if not through GameFan?
Some keychains.
More keychains.
Look, it's Mario and Yoshi RC cars.
Look!
Look!
Who is this? Who is this?
Is that Piccolo?
Who is Dragon Ball Z stuffed Char?
Who
Is his name Char? I thought that was a Gundam guy.
It looks like a Piccolo fused with Oscar. Yeah, Piccolo and Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, this is part of Dragon Ball Kids. Holy shit. They minified fucking Piccolo.
I love him. Nice Godzilla. A large.
I like that he's facing directly towards the camera.
Hey.
Large stuffed Sonic doll. Street Fighter 2 mini doll set. I like the way these look. Holy shit.
I like them a lot.
Look at Ken.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Ken.
Hey, I'm Ken.
Have a good day, everybody.
I love Cybermorph. Try the coffee. Stuffed Dragon Ball Z characters. Okay, that is Piccolo then, because this is the same guy.
Yeah, look at that Piccolo.
Look at that Vegeta.
Vegeta's his little friend.
He's just a little guy.
Mario and Yoshi pulling go-cars.
Puzzles. Card ass station.
They're beating your ass at the card ass station.
Street Fighter 2 Skax. Who's up for some Skax? Skax. How do you even do that? God damn it, GameFan. Oh, we have a few more import previews right at the very end.
Thank you for the 100 bits, green herrings, more Skax for us. And thank you so very much to a Cipher Cat 5-month resub. Enjoy your, Skak Man's world.
Thank you. Here's one more shot of Cybermorph to tide you over. Other stuff.
Other stuff section.
Oh, boy.
They talk about weird stuff. Do they sometimes talk about, like, movies?
They would, yeah. Talking about the Mortal Kombat movie. Power Instinct is in arcades. Now into the world of Nintendo. 64-bit CPU inside Project Reality will be a custom version of some chip. FX Tracks. Nintendo is considering changing the name to Trick Tracks. I wonder why. Probably because you made it up. Virtual Racing. Sega CD titles announced for 94 include Fatal Fury Special, Samurai Showdown, Viewpoint.
Viewpoint?
I want that Sega CD Viewpoint. I guess that got down converted to Mega Drive. Namco is said to be developing Ridge Racer, Galaxian 3, and Solvalo for the 3DO. Wouldn't that have been something if there was a 3DO Ridge Racer? Recently at Atari's awesome New York press conference, which featured purring babes wearing skin-tight jag suits in a jungle setting. Was this real and not imagined?
I mean...
Here, kitty kitty, do these guys know how to party or what? This is in the middle of a sentence, by the way. 3 new third-party developers were announced. Welcome to the jungle. It's an awesome system. It's a quality unit. In fact, it's the nicest looking system we've ever seen. You don't need a protector slot for the cartridge slot. It should always be exposed. It's fine. It's great. We prefer it that way.
It's much better.
Plan on playing hooky for a week when the Jag hits nationwide in January. Wait till you see the commercials. Why not write their press release for them?
I know, right? They're really in the pocket of Big Atari at this point.
Big Atari. Nintendo's SGI graphics system. These look like any N64 games you've played?
Where's the fog?
Yeah, there should be more fog. And more Mario. Decision 94! Here's how the new systems stack up. Oh, this should be good. This should be really good. Project Reality. Still don't know what the system looks like. It's a question mark. 64-bit. Greater than 100,000 polygons a second. Meanwhile, Saturn does 30,000. 3DO does 64 million max pixels per second. And Jaguar does 850 million pixels per second.
No, they...
This isn't apples to... This is apples to oranges. This is not apples to apples. Bus bandwidth? I don't fucking know. Don't ask me.
Bus bandwidth.
Same amount of colors. True color graphics. Yes, across the board. Processors, we know some of those. MIPS, millions of instructions a second. We got over 100 on Project Reality. The rest, I don't know, but Jaguar does 55. Does that do anything for you?
Yeah.
Object processor? Huh?
What's
No. Yes. SV. Oh man, it's comparing the, we don't know anything about Project Reality, but we do know it'll have RGB output. Oops. You need to mod your N64 for that.
I was like, that needs modding. I know that.
Weirdly enough, Jaguar actually did have native RGB output, so good for you, Atari. And 3DO did not have RGB output. Resolution greater than 1024. Jaguar is a slim 720 by 576. Anyone want to crunch these numbers, please do. Okay, now we get to the bootleg non-diehard game fan company advertisements. You ready for this?
Okay.
This uses a shit ton of official art, but they are not legally sanctioned to do this.
The Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den.
I love that dragon, by the way.
Yeah, we own the rights to Mario and Spot and Goro and Sonia and Spider-Man and Holly from Cool World.
Yeah, Hollywood if she could. Buy from Dragon's Den.
Now this guy is an original.
I like the Dragon's Den guy a lot.
This is just Alex.
That's me. That's literally me. Wow, that's actually... I threw my back out last week, and that was literally me. I literally laid down and read comics for, like...
The tri-state area's #1 stores.
Yeah! Oh my god.
In Poughkeepsie. Route 9 in the new Poughkeepsie Mall. Here's Arnold. Here's the Hulkster.
Don't worry about it.
We always have courteous, knowledgeable sales staff at your disposal.
Oh, you used to go to the Dragon's Den in Yonkers? That's wonderful.
Oh shit, nice. Postmeister, I've just heard some disturbing news. There are still some gamers who have not yet subscribed, and you know what that means. You mean they're still reading? Oh no. How will they know what's going on? Don't they know they can save big money? Well, Posty, we can only hope they see this ad. And pray.
I'm sorry. It's just gay to me. I'm sorry. sorry. I'm trying.
Why does
to
he
be
have him
normal.
locked up in his own room? Why do you
It's
need to
just-
lock up the postmeister?
'Cause
Let your boyfriend free.
every child who's gay has the first characters that they were like, I bet they're gay too, that they imprinted on. And for some reason, I just completely imprinted on them. Oh my god, it's time for games galore.
It's time for games galore.
Games.
Atari Jaguar, our price $238. Pretty good for a Jaguar.
Yeah.
God, they got a shit ton of games. I wish I could go through this Duke Donuts style and spot the fake games. They often have a shit ton of fake games in these. All these look real at a glance, though.
That's a shame.
Postmeister.
Postmeister.
There's a letters section. We're still not done with this magazine. I'm the Postmeister here to answer all your questions. No matter what you want to ask me, ask. I've got the answers, so write me a letter, or I'll come to your house and steal your mail, because I'm crazy. This guy's got a screw loose.
He's the Postmeister.
Here he is. Here's what he thinks of your mail.
He's sick. I love the Postmeister.
This guy is sick and twisted. I am also a female, age 26. I've never seen this in your letters columns. Alright, how weird do you think they're going to be to her? 26 female and you're into RPGs. Eaststorm would love you.
We're done. No.
Guess who wrote these responses? Eaststorm. Guess who wrote the questions? Also Eaststorm a lot of the time. So often this page was just Eaststorm writing questions to himself that he would later answer. Dear Eaststorm, I'm a lady and I think you're so sexy.
Storm's gonna kick our ass. Fair enough.
Yeah, we've had it coming.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Brain Game, Gearworks. I've never heard of this in my life. Probably because they made you study it in school.
I'm a female and I'm interested playing the Ultimate Brain Game Gearworks.
I'm a female with a brain. Eaststorm may like me. Isn't that right, Eaststorm?
Yes.
That's right, babe. Man, they're still talking about the damn Jaguar. He showed us Breath of Fire. Something, something. Good news. The Virgin Games is thinking of picking up Breath of Fire. What?
What?
What? That's right, PBH. They would often make fun of people for writing into the magazine. There was that one guy. Didn't they get mad at correction regarding the guy named Michael Beard? SNK guy.
I think so.
Fucking look at this. Dear Postmeister.
Myself
Unreadable
and
rant.
other gamers relate to this topic and would really appreciate. Oh god.
What do you think, P-Man? I'm 21 and I understand that video games contain violence. Oh god, here we go. I'm gonna go out and buy the Genesis and Sega CD because they seem to have games aimed at my age bracket. That's why I buy game systems. Dear Scott, buy a PC Engine and shut the fuck up. That's basically what he's saying. I kind of agree. I kind of agree. Yeah, they would tell dudes to just get a life. Like, why even write in? The few letters you get that aren't written by Eaststorm, you just tell them to get a life. Why doesn't anyone like the Postmeister? To reach me at my luxury dungeon pad. Write to me at my dungeon. Here's some real Sega
I like
CD.
the sun. I like that fake.
There's some
Sonic
real
CD.
box art.
Yeah.
This seems to be... The background looks like it's a level from Sonic 06, the Explosive City one. Looking forward to the future, that Sonic. Power Play Videos.
I love the new.
Buy, sell, trade.
Look at how bad those fonts are. I
Holy
fucking
shit.
love it. It's bad.
I thought GameFan layouts were bad. Wow. COD, welcome. Whew. I really like the gradient, though.
Mm-hmm.
You really need some bisexual lighting for your ad in the back of the magazine.
More products that don't suck.
By innovation? Oh, man. Oh, man. Innovation saying that they have products that don't suck. That is pretty good. What is this, a fucking shoegaze foot pedal for your Super Nintendo? What even is this? You step on that and Mario starts having a cool fuzzy sound? Come on.
We got the Ultimate Game Club.
Oh, the Ultimate Game Club. They ripped off a lot of people, allegedly.
Cool.
Tomo. Neo Fatal Fury Special. Turbo Duo Castlevania X. And those fucked up figures we saw earlier. CD32, buy it, please.
Please buy our CD32. We got
Oh, this is good. I can tell this is good already.
Okay, Dragon Video. I'm already here. Oh my god, Jaguar 3DO. This is so good.
Oh my god! Oh
look
my
at that
god!
fake Mr. Frosty!
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a clay fight.
What? They were going in on Clay Fighters. There's an issue of GameFan under the tree.
There is. Yeah, look at that. There's Postmeister and Monitor. What's the tree made of? It's made of like granite.
A rock, yeah.
It's a rock tree. This is how they do in Raleigh, North Carolina. Oh, they got the shadows.
I love this.
Even the phone number has a shadow.
This is amazing.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, meanwhile, here in the back, an ad for Jurassic Park. Whatever. Ocean probably paid us a shit ton of money to put this in the magazine, but put it in the back.
It's not Cybermorph.
It doesn't deserve that Cybermorph coverage. Oh, I remember this ad being on the back of a lot of magazines way back when. It was just like, you're at the end of the magazine, here's a car. You can stop giving a shit now.
Basically.
And that is indeed the back cover to GameFan, December 1993. We read the whole thing cover to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I can't believe we did that. From the cover story to being... Look at this. So based on what we know about video games in 93, fighting games were popular. All the rival magazines took a fighting game and ran with it, be it Clay Fighter or Eternal Champions. GameFan went with Atari Jaguar and Cybermorph, and they dedicated hard to it. They dedicated it so much of themselves to it, I don't think they even realized because, well, they were literally on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's an unforgettable magazine. Look at all these pages of just text.
Readable text.
Game of the Month, Cybermorph. Got comics, previews, completely eye-searing layouts, using graphics from Toe Jam and Earl. The magazine truly has it all. GameFan was an original. There's never going to be another thing like it. Thank God. That's my conclusion. Alex, what do you think about this this issue we just read through?
I think that I don't know how I read this magazine, like literally in the sense of I don't know how my eyes were able to perceive the text on the pages as a child. I remember actually skipping articles because they were unreadable. And I was just like, I don't need to read it.
I would often
pictures.
I would stop reading. I guess my brain was trying to protect itself from eye strain or something. I like the part where the guy is all like, "Oh, the game doesn't need music; it would only hurt it." Like that wasn't.
I like that too. I loved being. I like
music would only interfere.
It's the first real game. There's never been any games before this.
I need to go back and read that again just to be sure he actually said that. Like fucking. After playing video games for 9 years, I just played the first real one.
First real one.
There it is, December 93, the birth of the first real video game. And ever since then, we've enjoyed several real video games. And we have Atari to thank with their Jaguar. Thank you, Atari.
Thank you, Atari.
Thank you, Jaguar. And thank you, GameFan. I'm done. I'm done with this stream. Read a 300-page magazine, and I feel like I ran a damn marathon. But hopefully y'all enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun with that. It's always good to look back at these old issues, specifically ones that were written while on drugs. I wish there were more of those. If anyone knows any European Amiga magazines that were written on drugs, I want to see those.
Yeah, let us know.
So please do let me know.
Someone's had to have done it on E. It would have been the style at the time.
Yeah, come on. Amiga Power magazine written entirely while on E would be the European equivalent of this magazine for Americans. Good stuff. Good stuff. We're done.
We're done.
There's Postmeister here to run over your mailbox
Thanks,
and steal your
Posty.
mail. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This is a Patreon-supported show. What you just saw was brought to you by our patrons at patreon.com/retropals.
Thank you so much for supporting us.
Yeah, if you want to join in and vote for our weekly streams, tell us what to play, tell us what to feature, tell us what drug-induced magazines to read, you can let us know by giving us $5 a month. again at patreon.com/retropals. Alex is here to wrap us up. I'm going to look for Raid Target.
We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/retropals. There we post full-length highlights of our streams. Our latest one is our look at Super NES prototypes. So if you want to see us go through Steven Seagal's The Final Option, Bobby's World, and a bunch of other weird stuff, do check that out.
Bobby's World. I wish they covered Bobby's World in GameFan.
You would love that, wouldn't you?
I would.
We also have a Discord. Let me just put that link in the chat. You can talk about games, you can talk about movies and stuff, and you can also talk about cats. We'd love to hear about your cats, your dog. Someone's dog had a birthday. I forgot who it was, but thank you.
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
birthday to your dog.
Happy birth, dog.
Happy birth, dog.
Sorry for derailing your
No,
outro.
it's okay. It's fine. It happens.
Remember when they called Ronald McDonald a real freak?
Yeah, what was that about?
That's the way you open the review. Just like, okay, let's get everyone on the same page. Ronald McDonald, a real freak, right?
Yeah, well, no one likes that Ronald, right?
God, what an amazing magazine. Okay, so friend of the show, Dot Level, is doing a subathon all this week.
Ooh.
Currently, she is on day 3, and she is about to play a Link to the Past randomizer version that's been modified by chat to be as trolly as possible.
Oh, good.
So this is going to be a hell of a thing to watch. Enjoy that. Have a good rest of your evening. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.
See ya, folks.